Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Fan Cams. We go down by 64 points to the Brisbane Lions, and I don't think there'll be many people shocked. Better effort, much calmer, more relaxed. I certainly felt being at the game. Don't know how it felt for people watching on TV, but definitely much calmer than Anzac Day last week. There was very little lying down, obviously, collectively as a group than there was last week. And for that, I'm thankful, because that was hard to sit there and digest and marinate in last week, and especially on the occasion, but really any week. Our clearance work was better. Contest work was okay. It truly felt like, aside from our skills, which can be, infinitely better, it felt like it was purely outclassed. Just the gap in class for players and system was and also like age experience. They are doing shit that you only do if you know that a player is going to be in a certain place at a certain time. And, like, they weren't even talking. It wasn't even that loud. I was sitting quite close to the boundary, and it wasn't even that loud, them talking to each other, directing. It's truly just energetic. They're just picking up on each other's energy being there. And we have the absolute opposite of that. So whatever the opposite of that it is, we have that. And honestly, I can't bring myself to talk about the injuries that have come out of this. Sato Hooley, a collarbone, Jai Corwell, an ankle. And I think there's one more, but it's unconfirmed. So I'm not going to say it, but it's hopefully one of our better players today. Anyway, I'm absolutely feeling a bit better because two of my guys played very well. 2 meter Peter, like best, if not second best on ground. Would we agree? Surely there's no one can disagree with him being one of the best on ground. He had a terrific game. Really, I thought he almost, actually, what were the hit-outs? 26 hit-outs to 2 meter, Draper 23 and Fort 11. So Blackie had 4, didn't feel like he went in for many. So Peter Wright had a terrific game. 26 disposals, which is ridiculous. 2 goals, kicked them both, and 1 in the last quarter when he was exhausted. So that's great. And I thought Dyson Sharp was excellent too. A few fumbles, of course, but we got to see him in the middle, and he got some clearances, and he was tough around the contest. And we saw what we wanted from him, I think, in terms of him in his best position and him in his rightful place. And Roby, we got to see him in the middle in the last quarter, which was lovely. I think this was his best game. Yeah, I think is his best game. Anyway, enough of me chatting. How are all of you feeling? We're going to get to a lot of issues, whiteboard issues, Bronx cheering issues, coaching issues. There's the link. Jump on and join me. Hello, Troy. Well done. That's done and dusted. Much better effort this week. Yep, agree. Hello, Sean. Sardis would have been fantastic in full back. Now we're losing him at the end of the season, and who can blame him for wanting out? Hello, Zarko. If it wasn't for Caddy, we would have lost by 100. Yeah, far out. Like, 2 things. 8 scoring shots for him. That's sensational. But why? I don't know. I have to watch the replay. But at the ground, it feels like all of his shots on goal are on the boundary and wide. So I kind of have some sympathy that he's not putting many of them or most of them through the big sticks, because they feel we need to be getting him in better positions. But I felt like outside of the shots on goal, I thought he worked hard as well behind the ball stuff. So pleased with him. Yeah, Dave, the Bronx cheering. Just, are you a supporter? Like, what part of being a supporter? Not, and this is not you're a good supporter, bad supporter, because there's really, that line can be blurred. But what part of you thinks that that's helpful for a player playing better? Does that help the player? Are you also the people calling for a men's mental health round? But outside of the mental health part of it, how do you think that's encouraging him to play better? Do you want him to play better for this team? And how is that helping? It's just animalistic and ridiculous. Don't be Carlton. boo opposition. Don't boo the players who wear the Guernsey and run out in the sash. TL, how are you? Reid was our worst offender. Yeah. He had a couple of really good moments, but I don't know if he stands out so badly when he fumbles because he's so big, and it's just like, whoa, is it? I mean, and granted, it's in really dangerous position on the ground, but man, Simo, Ben Mackay 5, Reid 12. I don't need Ben Mackay to have 15 or 12 possessions. I need his forward opponent to kick 0 goals. Let me check how many did his forward get. Oh, that's right, 0 goals. Okay. I think that would be on his to-do list for the day. How's the Brisbane whiteboard? Can't say anything was wrong, to be honest. Look, I'll be honest. Like, you guys tell me what your opinion on this whole situation is. I didn't think it was real. I honestly thought it was fake. Apparently, it was the players who did this whiteboard and wrote up the strengths and weaknesses from their point of view. I don't have any issue with it. Like, we should be doing that. Like, our players should be like big noting themselves against these players. That's how you feel confident when you run out against them. I have no issue with the whiteboard. I do have issue with partners and girlfriends being brought into this situation as a strength. I think that's disrespectful and, quite frankly, disgusting and lazy. So be better, Brisbane Lions players, in that regard. But outside of that, go for your life. Yeah, most of it, as you're saying, Zarko, a lot of it was true. I don't think I disagreed with... Was there anything I disagreed? I'm trying to think outside of that very disgusting, inappropriate... I don't think so. Anybody else have anything they disagree with? TL, Reid was getting outmarked a one-on-one by a 20-year-old that's significantly shorter than him. Yeah, I mean, Logan Morris is a gun, but yeah, it's getting a bit concerning, isn't it? Hello, Brendan. We probably played as best we could. These 10-goal drubbings are wearing me down, though. So sick of them. Yeah. Look, we're not getting pumped by 100. We can be thankful for that part anyway. Andrew, not helping anyone, the Bronx chooser Ben. Yeah, thank you for calling it out. I really appreciate that. Exactly, Dave. Hello, Moby. Let's not single out individuals. The club is not competitive. Simples. Wow. Yeah. Hello, Taz. Lovely to be in your company today. So filthy at Essendon supporters who thought that, yeah. Sean, yeah, it was shit. It's just shit to keep losing. And because, you know, a guy behind me today said it's not fun coming in, going to a game knowing the end result. It's not very fun. It's not very fun for the exercise at hand and the excursion of watching football. Come at me if you think that is okay. You teary Carlton S supporters going to spit on them next. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't agree more. That's the lowest blow. Let's not resort to that kind of fuckery. Reid is 25 years old. He was losing to a child. Yep. Oh, he doesn't get a pass mark. Nah. I'm forgetting how many games pass mark I said Zach Reid was getting by me. I think I said mid-season. So we're a little while off there, but I hope to be seeing a few more signs. Hey, Sunstripe, team has no belief. No belief means no confidence. No confidence means a lack of grace, and lack of grace appears as discord or chaos in which fumbling, bumbling, and stumbling become prevalent. Well said. I agree. Hello, Bernie. Will, he sat in the gold square defending a first gamer like he was pathetic from Mackay. Siggy, Morris was all over Reid today. Yeah, very disappointing. Hello, Jed. Could have been worse. It could have been worse. Why is Carlton? I'm sorry, Atush. We're so sorry, but yeah, stay zen. You did so good today for 3 quarters. You really did. Hello, James. We need assistant coaches that have played finals and development coaches that can get the most out of these young kids. Sharpen Sully's best game. Yeah, I agree. Really good. And we will talk about them when we need to. When we've had all the bad out of our system, we'll talk about them because I thought they were really good. And Roby I thought he's been I won't say timid. It's probably not timid. It's not the right word. Just a bit apprehensive around contests, knowing when to go in. I think he showed signs a bit better at that last week, and his stats and kind of the ground ball department improved to match that. But my eye test showed me that he looked a bit more aggressive last week. And then this week, he looked like he'd lost the shackles a little bit and a little bit more comfortable. Few fumbles, but from both of them, but definitely much better. And I think his fitness is starting to click on, which is good. To stay strong, guys. They're the reigning premiers. You'll be back next week. Okay. You're just trying to now make us not super depressed before you might get super depressed tonight. Good luck. Have fun against St Kilda. And I know you're only going to boo Jack Silvani and De Koning. So you guys have fun with that. Can somebody keep us posted in the chat, please? Or anybody watching the news? Has done a hamstring? I got a text message about it. Chris, thank you so much. Really disappointed, but what else can we expect? You're right. Yep. I'm a little more buoyant than last week because last week was effort. And don't get me wrong, there was some shit I hated about the body language today. And Taz, if you're still here, you'll completely understand where we were talking about it at the game. TL, yeah, love this. He was so good around the ground, and I was watching him. There was just one contest where I think it was Darcy Fort took the mark, but Peter Wright was running to the goal square to stand on the goal square as he should, and no one this is where the good teams who have played so many games together, they just know that handoff happens organically, naturally. Players know when to peel off and watch, and nobody did that, and maybe Peter Wright shouldn't have expected that given where we're at, but you hope that builds because nobody went to man the mark for him. And, yeah. Hi, Carolyn. We're desperately missing Ridley down back. Yeah. What's the score in the VFL, anyone? And how's Redmond doing? Keep me posted on that, please. He was great. Yeah, I can't wait to watch the replay and watch for that to see how he goes in there. Surely Brad shows the whiteboard all through the week. Love this from you, James. Absolutely love this from you. Yes, absolutely. And then have them do their own freaking whiteboard. We're up in the VFL. Great. Hey, Michael, tradition continues, just usual 10-goal loss. Our skills are so bad. Shout out to Sard, who put his body on the line and managed a handball with a broken collarbone. Lions were in third gear. Oh, I don't think they're in third gear. I certainly didn't feel like that. I mean, maybe some of you did, but I thought that they were putting in. And I watched them a lot this year. For some reason, I'm always watching their games. But I think the second quarter was definitely our best. I know we didn't win that quarter. We did win the last. Did we win the last quarter in the end? No, maybe not. But the second quarter definitely was much better in terms of us defending transition. Felt like that anyway at the game. The stats could prove me wrong, but I always go with the eye test. Angry with own people on the other side of the fence. Hello, Andrew. Solomon played in the 2000 Premiership, but with the North Melbourne Light from when Scott was coach. These results are going to be the same. Sorry, he's not the coach for a rebuild. Brett, effort, fair. We showed fight. I think we did, yeah. Oh, you're right, Taz. Does look like he had the absolute ass kicked out of him in the week, verbally, behind the scenes, because that's how we came out and played. Defensively, offensively, there was just an intent with him today, a fire to not get beaten, and he didn't. Well, mostly. That's got to be non-negotiable. Like, if we don't see that next week, I cannot praise you for it this week. And yeah. So he only gets praise if I see it again next week, if he hasn't done his hammy. Paz, Scott out. The more we go with him, the development game plan will deteriorate. Rosa has done well with picks. It now to be coached under a good coach. Well, I will say to that, Brad Scott did a lot of the getting these people and these departments ticking along. So Bronx cheering a player with confidence issues. Yeah. That'll get the best out of him, TL. Yeah, he's going to have a blinder next week because of that. And he's going to want to, play for the club more. Roby looked good and Sharp fair. McGrath, I thought, was shit house. He really looked all over the place. But didn't he play on Cameron? And we said that in the team selection. So some of the stuff we talked about in team selection, first of all, from the first bounce, Pryor was on the wing, and I knew that everyone was losing their minds. But Langford, I said it he potentially will go forward because he trained forward on Wednesday. So that happened. What else happened? I said that Andy McGrath would potentially go back, and I think nobody was on board with that, because we didn't know where our clearances were going to come from, our centre bounce attendances were going to come from. But he did go back and played on Charlie Cameron, who had a lot of hand in their scores and a lot of goal assists, I think. It felt like it anyway. So I don't know. I don't think it was shit house. It wasn't probably his most best game, but the Essendonian, we start to make things right. It feels so far away success. I think that was supposed to say when, maybe. Yes, it does. Right now, it really does. And look at North Melbourne. They look like they've turned the corner, but it's taken them 15 years, 3,000 first-round draft picks, and they're just coming good now. So, unfortunately, I know no one wants to hear this, but I think we're in this for a little bit. I reckon it's fair to criticise players after the game, but Bronx cheering is how children handle their problems. Sean, you're currently leading the 5 Twixes. You're currently getting the 5 Twixes. Nailed it. It's a bit like abusing and wishing head trauma and injury on players on social media and abusing people on social media and name calling on social media. That's how children handle their problems. Well said, Sean. Well said. James, surely the uncontested possessions need to be addressed week after week getting mauled. Yeah, what were they this week? Why can't I see uncontested possessions? Oh, here we are. Okay. Yeah, you're right. They're having a lot of they're controlling and taking control, and it feels like we're not getting close. Like we're playing the zone defense, and it's allowing a lot of uncontested possession. Reid and Mackay both appear to not be able to read the ball in flight, both seemingly lacking in a big way in terms of confidence. Yeah, but Reid is so good at that. It's surprising from Zach Reid. He's very good at that. Very good. And he did it once today where I'm like, oh, yeah, there you are. Like, but then he just do something very, very bad. And I'm just like, oh, God. It's just the roller coaster in his own performance. It's hard. All right, let's have a chat to Dave. Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave.
Can you hear me?
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
Oh, thank God. I was about to get shitty again. Sorry.
It's a little bit fuzzy, but I think we can manage. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. A bit disappointing, but I thought after the first quarter they actually played quite well. It looked like Brisbane took their foot off the accelerator in that second quarter, but then after that they you could tell by the way that they were kind of trying, and especially at the start of that third quarter and that, but they fought well, and the kids fought really, really well, I thought.
Yeah, I thought so too.
How was it there?
It was just obvious the lack of class and talent on the lists, and they have so much of it on every line.
Yeah,
it's painful because we are very lacking in basic players who can do the basic fundamentals consistently well. Just a fumble here, like a 5-meter handball, just not hitting a mark. Hitting a target. I don't understand it. It's between the ears.
But there was one instance, I think it was in the third quarter, where one of our players was coming out of the back line and he handballed it behind his head to a Brisbane player that was just running straight through. Yeah. And I thought you just got to kick it to space in that instance and stuff. But yeah, so they were trying, but I don't know who that player was. Probably, I don't know. not sure, but I thought the kids did really well, and does kind of Sammy Durham at the start there. He was everywhere, and Merritt kind of made his way into the game, but does kind of took everyone by surprise, I think, at the start, given his tactics and that trying to get in. And Wright was really good. Caddy had, I don't know how much did it end up. Caddy had like 10 shots at goal in the end, or
I think
something.
It was about eight.
Yeah, 8 or 9. So, but he did really well. He's just got to learn kind of, and the kids will learn as well that he gets a lot of his kicks and shots on goal out on the boundary line and stuff like that. So, once he's kind of leading forward and stuff like that, it'll be, he'll be good. It was McGrath, Michael said. So, yeah.
Yeah, McGrath did it too. Zach Reed actually did it once as well. But McGrath did the behind the thing handball to Caldwell, I think it was. And it was ridiculous. There was no need to do it. And unfortunately, like he took himself. I don't know if it was meant to go off for an interchange, but he went straight to the bench after that. And I said to Taz next to me, I said, I hope they pull him for that. And I think he may have just taken himself off because that was really bad.
Straight away
because they got a goal. They got a goal from it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. So, but Roby looked. My comment was that he's found his feet a little bit and just found his timing in how the game's being played. So, and the same with Sharp in a way, but they're both completely different players in the way that they play the game. So they'll learn to kind of embed themselves with each other and then kind of with the senior players and how they, and the senior players hopefully can learn to kind of get them involved in the game. But to me, it looks like Roby's just kind of positioning because every time he gets near the ball, he's kind of looking quite good. But again, it's always on the boundary lines that he's touching it and stuff. So where's Langford going to go? Because he had quite a few shots on goal, but he started off in the back line and then, I don't know, like they moved him pretty quickly.
Just on that, yeah, and Carolyn, you're absolutely right. It's so deflating when a senior player is missing goals early. It's so deflating. It just takes the air out of – and he was doing really well and leading up at the ball on occasion, and the delivery was pretty okay at times. I don't know who said it, but I just want to give credit. Someone said that the ball movement was quite good, and I agree. The ball movement was good. The team defense was very bad, but the ball movement was okay when it worked and when there wasn't 3 or 4 skill errors. But Langford, and you're doing all the hard work to make the lead, to time the lead, but you've just got – it just has to be a thing you do. It just can't be missing. And then they weren't as hard as shots as caddies from memory. So, yeah.
Fair way out, but it's still, he was having 40, 45-metre shots pretty much dead in front. So, but what's his name's talking now I'll put it on mute, but our friend Jay Clark's talking on the TV now about the game and stuff. So if people can listen to that, if they've got Fox, I'm sure he'll check it.
Thank you, Ziggy, for confirming. The short kick from Reid to Colders put McGrath under pressure. If Reid nailed the kick, he wouldn't have needed to do the over-the-head handball.
Yeah.
And that's true. But McGrath, why do that? Why even do that? I don't think that we're at the stage where we can be doing that kind of thing. Because
but when it comes off, it looks
when does it come off for us?
It doesn't, but I mean, there should be someone running on the other side of him, like in front of him, to be able to do that. But Saad was pretty busy kind of worrying about defence today, which was really good of him. And a shame he's out now for quite a while. That didn't look good at all.
How did it actually? I didn't see it. And I haven't seen a replay. Did Cameron bump him? Was it the Cameron bump?
I
think they said Cameron.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it looked like his head at first. It looked like he hit him with his head at first and stuff, but then it was shoulder, and then he managed to get a handball off after that, I think, at one point, and then came off, and then and that's when I heard that Eddie Betts said that it was he was done for the day. So
It was a bump from Cameron. Yeah, I thought so. I just didn't know if there was any head action in there. Yeah, that's disappointing because he was getting some continuity finally, wasn't he? And he was actually doing really, really well. Isn't it funny? I can't believe we're at this point now where, yeah, it's never good to get injuries, but now they're starting to mount up a little bit again.
Yeah, but again, it was players being able to find their feet after a period of time. I mean, different for someone like Ridley. He just knows he can come in now. He's so used to coming into the team off an injury that he just knows he can perform straight away. But some of these other guys, and I don't know, like Reed was disappointing, and I just think it's he just doesn't. I don't know. He needs a confidence boost in the twos, but we can't afford to really kind of put him in the twos until someone like a Guerin or what's his name?
Hayes.
Hayes is kind of back at least. I know what's his name's playing there today, but he's not really a like for like kind of swap. Depending on who we're playing, maybe Redmond comes in, but yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, you'd think if Redmond gets through this VFL game, he would come straight back in, even if he's not conditioned 100%. You think he's coming straight back in for Sardo Hooley. Langford's a funny one. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go. Yeah, I don't know about Langford. He's he is a bit selfish as per the whiteboard. If everyone got to read the whiteboard, he is a little bit selfish, but I don't know. I think he's too smart for his own good sometimes. I think he just needs to be able to share that knowledge of how he plays in the forward line to other players to know that they, just to be able to get it to him and stuff. But I don't think the wing's his spot. I thought it was, well, maybe it is, but it's he plays the forward line so well when he goes there. But I think having Kako there kind of negates the need to have Langford there. But you need that. I mean, it's kind of Caddy's that mid-sized forward at the moment because he's not huge, is he, Caddy? But
no.
he's playing full forward essentially now. Edwards, I don't know. Edwards was in the back line at one stage. Where did he start the game?
In the forward.
Did he start on the wing? He did start at full forward.
No. Not on my... No, he was in the forward line, yeah. He may have... he was high half forward, so he just made his way up the ground. And so same with Gresham. He was in the defence at times as well.
I didn't see much of Gresham.
He did a couple of nice, I would be interested. Again, this is why I don't read so much into the tackle count because I don't believe what they tick down as a tackle is actually a tackle because sometimes I think a player's had many more tackles than actually is on the stat sheet. But I thought his pressure was pretty good, just not quite enough. But I'll watch on the replay again for his pressure. But he got up the ground as he usually has been. And it was good. And you know what? Cox played a really good game as well. And it was interesting to see some synergy between he and Edwards, which I was not expecting. Edwards took a really lovely mark and Cox was kind of blocking legally to Brisbane defenders. And I thought they knew exactly what they were doing in that moment. And I thought, so we are capable of a little bit of cohesion and synergy because they were on the same page. And I thought he was really good. I mean, Harris Andrews came and intercepted multiple times and outmarked him, but that's a very good defender being very good at his job. And you're right, Sean. I loved his goal and I love the response to the goal.
Looked like he was about to cry after that.
I know.
So happy.
And I was about to cry and I had to pull myself together.
He deserved it though. Like it's been a long time, and I mean, regardless of his performances in the VFL and that, I thought he'd been doing really well in the VFL in that kind of Gold Coast game and stuff. He was a real presence, and he's huge. Like you see him in person, he's a big boy. So, but I forgot what I was going to say now. But yeah, no, I think he's earned his spot again there in the forward line. I hope so.
It's going to be interesting if Archie May is good to go next week. Yeah. Are you dropping Cox or Are you moving Langford back or on the wing to fit Archie May in? Then can you hold Archie May and Cox and Langford and Edwards and Caddy? That's too many forwards.
Play next week?
May?
No, who do we play? What team are we playing next week?
Giants.
In Melbourne or over there? Ugh. Yeah. I don't know now. No, we need some small people because they've got a lot of big defenders and stuff.
Small people.
So we need some small people there.
Moby, that's ice cold. You're dropping Cox after one game. Nah, I don't think he did enough. He didn't do anything to be warranted dropping. I don't think myself. I'll watch the replay, but I thought watching him around the ground, I thought he kind of stayed to himself. He didn't kind of try and bunch up. And
he had Harris Andrews on him the whole game. So he had, Harris Andrews needs to be our Hodgie, by the way. I think we need him when he's getting a bit older and some of those defenders at Brisbane are coming through, because he was a mad Essendon supporter growing up. So get him.
Yeah, I think he's got. I wonder how old he is. How old is Harris Andrews? Is he like how many more years has he got in him? Maybe 3, 2 more years. But I think he's got a lot of good football.
Yeah,
a lot of good football in him still.
He might miss next week as well because he got I don't know if you saw the corky that he got, but he pulled his shorts up at one stage. I think Langford got him. Okay. And that's gonna. It was bad. So we'll see how he pulls up. But
okay.
Anyway,
he's contracted to 2029. Thank you, TL.
Yeah, well, we might need him by then anyway. If Ridley's doesn't break in two and some of the other guys.
If he just wants to take a year, last year of his, if he's not trotting, if he's not, doing so well, feeling so well in his body, and he just wants to take it easy, just for the experience and the leadership. Oh God! All right. Well, we'll continue to look out for the VFL and see that everybody is tracking okay. I think somebody said Hasalechka is injured. Please don't tell me that. Please don't be telling me that, because now it feels like when injuries start to pile up, and I know these are contact injuries, they're not soft tissue injuries that are happening, but I can't. We don't deserve that. We don't deserve to be, playing poorly and be mounting injuries, because this was the hell of last year.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. No.
All right. Thanks, Dave, for dropping in.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, here we go. Huss stayed down for a while and then limped off to the ground. They're up by 15. What quarter is it, Bernie? Oh, no. Huss is injured. Not sure what. Maybe an ankle. Unwin did a hammy. Okay, well, I was just saying it wasn't soft tissue. Oh, God. Oh, now it feels like the wheels are falling off. And breathe. It's very hard to be a content creator in this climate. Just saying. Surely you give Cox another game, but then again, with selections, who knows? That's very true. No, Cox has to get another game for me. Has to. For continuity, for confidence. I'm almost to the point where it doesn't matter. I personally think he deserves it. I think he didn't do anything to warrant being dropped. But yeah, for all the other reasons, I think he definitely deserves another game. All players have been given at least 2 games, except our Hawley when he was dropped the second time, I think. But he got the 2 in a row. Fairly certain. No, that's 2 men. Pretty sure. Yeah, he may be the only one, but all of the newish players, let's consider Cox a newish player. He hasn't played a game all of last year, so he's a newish player. Hello, Dan. We need a Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox priest to break the spell. Yeah, well, we got a broken spell for the Melbourne game, and then a nice little dopamine hit for the Suns game, and now we're just back in the mud for a little while. Just a little while. Oh, I forgot. Yes, Blackerson's goal. I forgot he kicked a goal. Good on you, Lockie. Very good. I was like, wait a minute. What are you doing down there, young man? Well done. Yeah, he doesn't make his way down to the forward line much, does he? If ever, to be honest, when he's in the ruck, that is. Moby, bees to the honey pot, pigeons to the chip. They knew and peeled off and belted us in transition again. Yeah. It's not going to make a difference. Redmond and Martin are the only ones that can make a difference. I'd probably say Ridley and Martin, maybe. Ridley and Martin and Kako. Kako's huge, huge, huge in terms of being that conduit between our forward line and the midfield. Would Langers be better served down back when he can put his experience and bigger body to use and direct the back line? I thought that's what he did well in the last couple of weeks down there. Not perfect, granted, but well. But when he's playing in the forward line today, he showed that he's actually got good forward craft. It's just the goals just put me, the lack of conversion put me off. Cox has to get another game because he's fit. We don't have many of those left. It's only round 8. We can't be having this fitness conversation again. I refuse to have this fitness conversation again. But I guess that's why we're here, right? Oh, thank you, Michael, for some stats. Sardis 24, Setterfield 20. But I need to know what quarter we're up to, please. Oh, third quarter, 19 minutes in. Okay. Okay, good. Oh, a hip for Huss. Oh. Well, he was at the ground today, so he was the carryover emergency. I don't think any others actually went to the ground, but obviously because the game started at 2, he would have been driven up to India Hill. Just think of the money you'll save on Twix. No, because this is just going to make me emotional eat, and I'm going to buy the Twix and eat them myself. I prefer to share them. Sharing is great. Sharing is caring. Hello, Xavier. Young players had a crack and showed something, but our senior players are useless. I mean, the body language of Merritt, yuck. There was one, and I hate to bring this up because he played a very good game, Sam Durham, but you know when Sharp got hit after we got a downfield free kick and Lohman bumped Sharp as he was kicking into the forward 50. I'm gonna look much closely on the replay, but I was watching. There was barely a nudge on Lohman, and it really pissed me off. Durham kind of, did that, but that's not good enough for me. This is an 18-year-old kid playing, and it was so unnecessary. Like, Lohman did not have to do that, and we did not get in his face, rough him up. That is mindset. That is all about intent and mindset, and how connected are you in that moment? How fired up are you? You should feel aggrieved and anger. Steam should be coming out of your ears at that, because it was for me, and the players just weren't on that page. And that was, I think, the second quarter, and that really, really annoyed me. And the reason I bring up Daz is because I'm fairly certain, and I could be corrected, so forgive me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly certain close by in the vicinity, he was the only one there, one of the leaders there in the vicinity. It may have been a couple of others, younger players around, but if you are in the leadership group and you're known for your hardness and your being unconditional, you need to be putting somebody, and I don't care how much you're losing by, you don't let a kid be bullied like that and hit afterwards. That's going to happen, but show a bit of fight. And I hate to say it because, yeah, he had a good game, and he really did step up in terms of his performance, but he really needs to do better. Get every religion there, surely by the powers combined we can end the curse. Yeah, if only it worked that way. Would love that. Redman is so back, he just flatlined someone in the VFL. This is what I'm talking about. What good timing. Like, if Redman was there, I expect for Lohman to be on his ass. And if you give away a free kick, if you get the reversed free kick, so be it. Don't care, because it's in this rebuild, you need to be showing Sharp that you've got his back, because then Sharp does that. He's that way inclined. He's going to do that when he's the older player and the leader. He'll do that. But it's what message are you sending these young players in that moment? What message are you sending the Brisbane team, the rest of them? You just pigs at the slaughter. You're saying, yeah, I can be bullied. Just put our young players on their asses. So Redman, I hope he brings this energy to the seniors when he comes back, hopefully next week. Talk about Brisbane's strength over the ball and their marking. Nguyen tries hard, but on the TV he looked way undersized compared to bigger Brisbane bodies. Interesting. Yeah, I thought he was buzzing, trying, but nothing quite coming off. He had a few intercepts, actually. I don't know if there'll be intercepts on the stat sheet, but I'm calling it an intercept where he interrupted the ball movement. And so, to me, intercept. So, but then again, we just could not make anything of it going the other way. No class to make anything of when we were actually forcing turnover. You have to actually capitalize on those moments, because all your effort is gone into doing that, and then it's deflating. I agree, Essendonian. Yeah, I agree. And senior players. Hello, 20-year rebuild. It's just depressing to have to say that out loud. Langer's in trouble. If you're not agile, you have to mark and kick goals. If you're not doing that, you're too slow to carry as a passenger in the forward line. Yeah. And he was doing all of it except the kick goals. And as I said earlier, cannot carry that. VFL, thank you. Agree that senior players for the most part seem to lack enthusiasm or deep belief, perhaps rightly so. Ridley's been a 3-week injury now for about 3 weeks with 3 weeks to go. I mean, it's not true, but it's funny. Oh, it's painful. 61-48. Go VFL boys. Left or right, Twix first? I don't understand the question. Redmond, 8 disposals, just need him to get through unscathed and he's in for next week. Yeah. Troy, Langers was there through necessity this week, I think, with May being injured, but I always think Langers plays his best footy in the back line. I thought he was getting some continuity, some flow, being back there, seeing the ground ahead of you. I thought he looked really composed and strong in his energy. Ridley was a 4-week injury. He's been out for 2 and due back in 2. He's on track. Yeah. It was funny, though. Merritt looked like he'd rather be a Gimlet. Yeah, it's just I admit Mackay can be have bad body language, but people are blinded to Merritt sometimes. Merritt is playing conditionally this year. He is leaving. It is so obvious. So what do the coaches do? It's a great comment from you, Moby. It's a great comment. He's most definitely leaving in my head. On the road after a holiday, gutted to miss it. Black spots made it worse trying to follow. We fielded a team going to be challenging year for us, but up for it. Go Dons. You're on the road. How was your holiday? Did you have a good holiday at least? Fiona, you were up caption on the big screen at the ground today. Well, not my fault. And they stayed on it for way too long. Why are you still there? If I'm looking away, why continue to just put the camera on? Anyway, I hope that didn't make the coverage. But yeah. I'm getting a bit tired of the statement, we couldn't expect anything better. That's the phrase for the last 20 years. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Look, I think in terms of I didn't expect to win the game. Like I say that. But I did expect that when an 18-year-old is put on his ass by a smart-ass player of the opposition, I expect better. I expect our players to hit 5-metre handballs to a player on his own, and we're not getting that. So, yeah, I think expectation is good because it holds people accountable. But, yeah, unfortunately, and that's why we'll have a shock win at some point because we're not going to be expected to win any game. So, Essendon really got worse when we lost Tip and Woody. Lohman is a little dog. Yeah, but he's the kind of guy who you want on your team because he does that shit, you know? We need some of those players, do we not? We actually do need some of those players. And Redmond arguably is one and has the dog in him. Pryor, definitely, if Pryor was in the vicinity, one thing you can say about Pryor, but you always know he's never taken a step backward in terms of going into bat for a teammate. If Roberts was in the vicinity, he's getting in the face of Lohman. Stop it. Please stop it. That's just not. I mean, I'm grateful of you keeping me abreast of what's happening, but. Oh, no. It's close. Are we in the last quarter yet? Hey, James. Geez, how good was the game last night? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you lost, but man, what a good game. You have to convince the interstate youth to stay. Otherwise, if they do not feel respected, they will just go home. Spot on, and stay away from Dyson Sharp is all I've got to say. Okay, James? But you're right. Absolutely. Exactly. I thought Newens should have been in a tagging role on Zorko. He did play on him, did he not? I thought he was on him, but Zorko, man, he felt like he had a shit ton of the ball, in fact. How much did he have? Oh, yeah. 27 disposals, 21 kicks. Yeah. Bloody hell, Darcy Wilmot is a player, isn't he? Oh, tied in the VFL. Don't make the stat police mad. Hey, honestly, at this point, I don't give much of a shit, but you're right. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Fiona, how are you?
Oh, I feel like this is deja vu, but I'm happy to have you here and have a chat with me.
Always happy to do so. It's been a minute since I've last been able to jump on. It's always just happened to be whether I'm in the car having terrible reception or back from church. Exactly right. So, this seems to be a good time. Good time to get a smashing. Good time to I suppose see firsthand with prime time seats. What's
a smashing for you? Just on that terminology, because I'm watching Tigers and West Coast get beaten by 100 recently, and it's made me rethink about what is actually a smashing. Like, is 60 points in your? I guess this is it's going to be different and relative to everybody. But for you, is 60 points a smashing?
Yeah, 10 goals. 10 goals is a smashing for me.
Okay, so what's 100 points? Like,
that's a shellacking. That's a shellacking.
Okay.
If it's 120, no, let's not get there. Let's hopefully we never see that. But I think it was a very comfortable smashing there for a team that is the two-time reigning premiers, where for the first half of the last quarter and the entire second quarter they were on cruise control. So it's not like they really gave it their all for the whole time. I think that's sort of offset by a lot of our inaccuracy in not converting a lot of very gettable shots. So I'd say that was a very fair smashing of 10 goals. All right. So well done to the Lions. I mean, it just sucks that we always come up against good opposition that seems to get stronger every week. Whilst we lose important players, and of course the opposition ends up getting stronger. So they came in a little bit more, I suppose, fuller with Zorko coming out of the back line, some more continuity in some of their players. Meanwhile, we lose two of our really important clearance, players. And of course, one was managed and the other one was dropped. But I do consider that it's a really important thing to have continuity in your team and to not continue to have so much change all of the time. And depending on the aftermath of this game, it seems like there might be some more change to come with, Duz with the potential hammy, Caldwell with his ankle, Saad had his collarbone. So it's when it rains, it pours at the Bombers, doesn't it?
That it does. I mean, and we couldn't have some injury luck in a year that's a rebuilding year of crap. like, heaven forbid that the universe just grants us a bit of injury luck to just take the pain, ease the pain a little bit. I mean,
and
granted, difficult. It is football and we're going to get injuries. I understand that, but just hurts because it feels like I've got a bit of PTSD from last year. Remnants of PTSD still fighting its way out of me.
Look, I guess we just have to hold on to the fact that well done to Nick Cox for getting through that first game back. So obviously we're all very happy for Coxie. It was great that the entire team got around him when he kicked his goal. And it was really important because he had quite a few almost moments where he almost kicked one, or, so, he continued to front up and he never gave up. So massive props has to go to Nick Cox for showing that he wasn't gifted a game. I know a lot of people might be saying that, is he really up to it? I know a lot of people have put a line through him and ruled him out, but I think he can categorically show, no, he deserved his spot. He deserved to get named, and he played really well against the two-time reigning premiers, and this was his first hit out. So I'm really keen to hopefully see Nick Cox get a really solid run at it. Same thing with Roby. I thought Roby ramping up bit by bit. Obviously had a severely interrupted preseason, so he showed a lot. Your boy Sharp, he had a lot more midfield minutes. What did you think of his game?
I thought it was terrific. He had quite a few moments very close to where I was sitting, and I thought he, really stood up strong. And sometimes when others were fumbling around stoppage and in contest, we saw what he does best. He was clean and decisive and, aggressive, which is everything we expect from him.
100%. No, absolutely love him. He's really good. So, I mean, the kids certainly, again, I mean, we know this. The kids are good. I think a lot of the players that we got out there that are young and inexperienced, you can say that these guys have absolutely a wonderful floor. They're definitely talented, and really the sky is the limit for what this group, if they stay together, they can achieve. I guess the relevant question would be the likelihood of whether that is to happen if they're not guided in the appropriate way. Obviously, the lack of winners, and leadership at times on the field and off the field can make it really hard. And I can understand why there's a lot of question marks over the direction from a coach's box perspective, for example, or maybe the lack of recruitment and getting some older players. And I really hope that's what we do at the end of this year, that we try and look out for people who are towards the latter stages of their career, and like a Luke Parker or a Caleb Daniel or Darling, like what North Melbourne did. That I think they identified we've got sufficient talent now in the team. We just need more winners, people who have experienced winning, who know how to win at all points, and to really be able to keep grounded and play a full 4-quarter effort. Towards the end of the game, I thought we had a very solid first half to that last quarter, but the best teams play it the whole way through. And you just look at them 4 minutes to go, and you could see it, potentially that these guys could kick 4 more goals in 4 minutes, because they just continue to. And the Hawks did that the same. When the Hawks were dominant, they used to flourish in red time. The Cats last year, they were the red time kings, because as soon as you get to red time, the other team tends to put the foot off the gas, but the best teams are the ones that continue going. So I think there's a lot of hope, as always, and optimism and potential, but I really hope that we do a bit more, whether it be in the coach's box, adding some more experienced assistant staff, for example, or recruiting some, like a Pendles even. Why not throw some money at Pendlebury? It's all about him breaking the record right now. Well, why not? End of the year. Happy to give you a contract to play a year and then transition your way into coaching afterwards, because it's clear this guy wants to be a coach, and he loves mentioning Archie Roberts all the time, that he coached him at Haileybury and things like that. So try and get him across. They took Heps from us. Why don't we try and take Pendles, for example? I think that will go a long way to helping the team.
I mean, I'm open to any player who is at the end of their career and has really, really significant finals and grand final history, exposure, because right now we don't have any of it. Our only player who has a finals win is Braden Fiorini. And unfortunately, that was a good call to get him in for the leadership. And I know a lot of people think it's saying it's a waste, but one player showing good leadership is not going to fix. It's going to fix this team. It's going to take multiple, like it has at Kangaroos, it's going to at West Coast as well. One player can't do it alone because he's one player, and one player showing voice and showing how bad everybody else is with their voice is not going to fix it. He can only do so much. So, yeah, we need to collect more of these players, and I still think we need to collect a bit more young talent as well. So,
we'll get that, I think, by virtue of the fact that, I mean, it's hard to see us finish above the bottom four, right? At this point.
That's a foregone conclusion.
Yeah. So, by virtue of where our ladder position is likely to be at the end of the year, I think we'll definitely get that. I agree with you. I definitely, and the people here in the chat, that Merritt really is checked out by and large, and that he's only here because he has to be here. And I think he'll definitely try to leave again. And I think we should be facilitating that.
Absolutely. Can we do it? Can we do it next week? Respectfully, can we do it next week? Because right now, and I all believe in the frequency and the energy transmission and the projection, and subconsciously, I'm not saying it's a conscious thought, but subconsciously it is emanating off him. Yeah. It is emanating off him, and it is not good for the kids. I don't actually I don't care that much so much about the senior players now. It's about the kids, and I don't want them exposed to that.
Yeah. Even some of the older players like Mackay, I don't want him to be exposed to Bronx cheers as well. But I understand that it's good for I understand that it's almost a bit of hypocrisy that the media can highlight vision of this guy and absolutely lambast him all day, every day during the course of the week. And then come game time, if the fans express their disappointment in their player, that then the media can go all high and mighty saying, oh, you shouldn't be doing that to your own player. It's like, well, who are you trying to convince? Who are you trying to talk about during the course of the week? Aren't you trying to get a rise out of the fan base? And then when the fan base actually takes the bait, you can then come out and be holier than thou. So I think it just, again, this dynamic between club, fan, and media, guys, don't buy into it. Because the media has always had it against us. They love to use and abuse us for clicks because we get them revenue. Just don't give them what they want. They want a rise out of us. They want us to be angry. They want us to be upset. And they want us to forget where this club is at right now. And I think it's really like channels like this where we can all come together and talk to keep us grounded, because they don't have our best interests at heart. So,
the manipulation, I'm glad you brought that up, because the manipulation was at its finest. And, I'm not upset at fans for falling prey to it and for falling for it, because it's quite astute. But if you sit outside of it and if you detach a little bit from it, you actually see what's happening. So for 3 weeks out of the 8 weeks this year, Ben Mackay has been segments on footy shows. 1 week, he was 2 segments on different footy shows in the same week. Now, nobody's saying that footage of his bad games is not there. It's obviously there. Nobody's defending his poor games. No one's saying that he shouldn't be better at times. But to simply, and this is where the Brad Scott saying it was lazy, this is where it comes in, because Nick Riewoldt then had a go at him. And I respect Nick Riewoldt. I think he has some really good input. But he bit back at the lazy bit. But do you know why it's lazy, Nick? It's lazy because you said you do the work, but you clearly don't, because had you watched the replays of all of our games so far this year, like I have twice, watch every replay twice over, I could collate the same amount of vision for multiple of our midfielders, the same amount of poor effort and intent and embarrassing. You labelled Mackay's efforts embarrassing. Granted, some of them were on Anzac Day, I'll give you it. But I can give you a collation of clips, collated clips of exactly the same embarrassing efforts from a lot of our midfielders. And in fact, I can do it for more of the games than I can do it for Mackay. Yep. That's why it's lazy, because you can see that Ben Mackay is a target, that it's going to get a rise from fans. But if you had done the work, you would be able to get grabs of our midfielders and maybe one or two forward and back of the same amount of effort, poor efforts and evidence of other players. So it's not about suppression and saying that Ben Mackay is great. He had a poor game last week, granted. Awful, terrible, maybe worst of his career, shocking, no excuse. But don't gaslight the fans and say, I don't subscribe that it's lazy. Well, it is lazy because you're choosing to go for the player that is getting the most rolled up. And then in the same breath, you're saying we need a men's mental health round. Well, you know what your bullying has done? It's seen comments on Ben Mackay, people wishing head trauma, death, injury on a person, a human being. And then you say we need a men's mental health round, and Nick Riewoldt says about how good St Kilda does about the Spuds game. I'm calling gaslighting on that.
Yeah,
psychology 101.
Yeah, that's the media enterprise. That's the media machine in full swing. They get a directive, or they get a message, or they keep their finger on the pulse. There is no moral. There is no ethic. There is no guidance of character in the media, and yet they'll continue to be holier than thou. And I love it always whenever coaches bite back against the media. I love it. I loved it when Bevo went to town on Morris the other year. I liked it that
Kangaroos with Kang Corns.
Exactly. I was just about to say Kangas with Corns. I like it when even Ross the Toss at times, occasionally, comes into bat. Dimmer Hardwick would bat for his team whenever the media would come out. So I always love it whenever there's that pushback, and I really hope that we continue to see that from Brad to continue to defend the players, because ultimately we need the players to feel confident and be up and about, because regardless of if they're playing with no confidence and they're always self-doubting, then of course their skill is going to be shot, their decision-making is going to be terrible. You need a healthy mind and a healthy body, and if your mind's not right, then nothing is going to work out. So yeah, come on, guys. Let's continue to support the team, support the players.
It's not even about blanket positivity or support. These players, he's right. They sign up for AFL. They're open to critique, but that is not an invitation to be inhumane. And right. The media have an agenda. So I guess the point is just let's be more mindful of what they're trying to do and do our best to maybe not get sucked in. And granted, I do too, but it's been a tough week, and yeah, I don't ever want to have to block or ban people from the channel and the page because it is about the fans. But I can't internalize watching people comment on my posts that are about other players that Mackay should get concussion and get injury.
Yeah, what? It's not constructive. It's not. If you're gonna criticize, and believe me, there is obviously lots to criticize with the way that we're going. It should be constructive. It should be where you're giving ideas, you're giving suggestions, you're giving change, as opposed to this guy should be sacked, or this guy should not be, having any chance, or this guy should get concussed, or we should pay out his contract right here, right now, and never play him again, and things like that. It's not, that type of discussion isn't really helping anybody. And I know it's obviously very emotional, and we're very emotionally and a lot of us are also financially invested into the direction of this club, and we obviously want, and we're also sick and tired of losing all the time. So I can completely understand.
And that's why I kind of like when people call people soft and spud. That's your right. That's neither here nor there. Does it make me burn a little bit? Sure, but I know that's not about me. I know that's my issues because I'm an extreme empath. But I don't hold that against people. Everybody has their right to believe what they want. But there's a level, there's a line, and I believe it's being crossed, and I believe the media have fed it. So thank you for bringing that up so I could go on that rant. Apologies. I'll move on to it. I'll move on eventually, but yeah, not okay.
Someone needs to clip that. You need to clip that and make that a video, honestly, or dedicate, or actually make a video dedicated to this, because I think it is. I think it is an important topic. that needs its own standalone video, because the media needs to be called out on it. And that's part of the reason why Gary Lyon was saying what he was saying, because he hates that accountability. He hates that there's now this extra, outlet for fans to go to. It's no longer them that's just able to dictate the narrative and say what it is that they want to say. There's now different outlets, different people that they're getting their source of information from, people who actually care about their team, because there's no one in the media who cares about us. That's for sure. They just try to take advantage of us.
Yeah, let's not forget, because the same people yelling at Ben Mackay listening to the media are the same people listening to the media, the same media who camped outside James Hurd's house and harassed him into a mental health institute. So why are you reading so much into the media when they did that to your Messiah in James Hurd, and now all of a sudden the media are right? It's just not marrying up for mine. But anyway.
No.
Anyway, thank you, Joe. Appreciate your input as always. Thank you for joining us.
Enjoy. See you guys.
Gotcha. Bye. All right, now let's go over to somewhere sunny. I see a beautiful backdrop that's going to make me feel a little bit better for a while, maybe a bit jealous. Let's talk to someone in Bali. Hello, Scooter.
Hello.
Now, have you had one or two cocktails?
I can't hear you. Hang a sec.
Now, this is going to test how much and how well Scooter watches the show.
Sorry.
Because he'll know to click the 3 buttons. Can someone in the chat write, please click, Scooter, click the 3 buttons? I'll get my tuggies on first. There we go. Oh, okay. He disappeared. So let's chat to the solution in the meantime.
Scotty been on the Bintangs, I think.
Maybe. And I don't blame him. I was just about to say, I hope he's had multiple cocktails afterwards. I haven't been able to drown sorrows, but he should. He's in Bali, so I hope he was watching the game with a cocktail or 2 in hand. That would have made it feel better.
I'm insanely jealous. Can I just clarify something? Did you actually say you watched the replay twice for every game?
I do, because I try to do the rating show with a semblance of astuteness and clarity on there. Because when I give someone 0 tweaks, I take that very seriously. Again, empath. I feel very bad about giving someone 0 tweaks. And the only way that I can sleep at night doing that is knowing that I've watched the game and I can stand by my 0 tweaks, because I believe that it wasn't a 0 tweaks worthy game.
Well, all I can say to all the viewers, you need to like, subscribe, join the membership, give a donation, because this poor woman is putting her mental health and nervous system in jeopardy by watching Essendon.
Look, I take responsibility. I choose to do it. So, but all of that other stuff, like in subscribing, membership is very much appreciated. But I'm not saying woe is me. I'm not a victim. I take responsibility.
No, you are a victim. If you're watching you're watching the replay twice. I'm sorry. Yeah. You are a clear victim.
Scotty, sorry, my 4th margarita has caused me not to hear or speak. Scott, if you can hear me, click the 3 dots, and in the 3 dots will give you an option for like a sound or a something, like an option to change the sound. And if you click on that and just click default, it should work. But sorry, solution, continue.
No. We really need to see drunk Scotty. I can't wait.
Yeah, get back.
Did I see Brad Scott say Sardis was dropped because of defensive transition?
Somebody did text me that. Did he do a pre-game interview? Did he say that in a pre-game interview? He must have.
I think so, because we're all in a ward. We're all in a virtual ward, maybe.
You've gone from the mansion to the mental ward. Yeah,
that's right. So I can only expect that there's going to be 20 players dropped this week.
Yeah, true that. And I love that was the case of dropping our best centre clearance player, and we lost centre clearance. I love that for us by 7. So
yeah. So anyway,
there we go. Sean's got us covered. He said it on Fox Footy pre-game. Do you say with a straight face? Like, I'm going to go, but I need to go back and watch that and read the body language and read to see how he said it. But yeah, sorry, continue.
No. I find that
They're really having shocking fourth quarters. Thank you, Vicky.
So anyway, what I want to say, a couple of things. I'm not going to add anything to. You and Joe spoke very eloquently about Ben Mackay. By the way, it doesn't even make bad logic. Like, if you're going to Bronx cheer, you Bronx cheer when a player does something he should be doing all game and then hasn't done and then does. In Ben Mackay's context, it would be the other players kick 10 goals and then he finally gets a fist on one and you give him a Bronx cheer. Or Zach Merritt hasn't touched the ball and then finally gets a kick. But when were possessions on Ben Mackay's to-do list, really?
Never. I think the media said so they must be right, you know.
Yeah, well, anyway, you guys spoke really well. I just want to have a crack at a couple of things. Firstly, the Essendon match day activations and whoever the team is that runs match day, when you're down by 70 points and then we kick a goal and you get the big, I don't know what that word is or what that sound is when you just get the big boom. It sounds like a bomb's been dropped. Like, it is so loud. You know, after a goal, when the loud noise comes on the
like the
audio,
the music
before the music.
Maybe. Okay,
like it's so loud. People who grew up in war-torn areas, people from Bosnia or Iraq, they would be triggered. And then they go into this music that is super loud. It's just like, now's not the time. We're 70 points behind. Just read the room. Just don't play the song, whatever song you've got queued. Like, it really is over the top. So
is that a bit like you know, the social media team when we're like losing by 100 and they're on social media saying, oh, this player got 20 disposals, and it's just like, no. Just have the night off social media, because the poor social media person's going to cop it for something that they're told to do and to stay active on social media. Just don't make them post.
Yeah. It's they've got to read the room a bit better. But the other thing too, like, I just want to say about the state of the club in general. There was so little fans. Like that members wing, which is kind of on the, I guess, Spencer Street side, you describe it, of the ground, which is normally our heartland. I mean, it looked like a GWS game. There were more seats than people. And I don't blame anybody. I mean, this is the last warm day. Probably we're about to have 5 months of the deep, dark winter.
Oh God! If we thought our depression wasn't bad enough as it is, we're about to get into like the heart of winter and dreariness. Oh,
correct. Yeah, and today was a beautiful day.
On speed dial.
But the thing is, who could blame anybody for not going today? We know we're going to get thrashed. We have zero hope of winning the game, and people like chose not to go. And as we continue to perform poorly, we get more of these shitty time zones. I think we've got one against Melbourne in a few weeks and potentially Freo. I think I'm right in saying.
Oh my God, Luke! It could be no. Well, I mean, it'll never be as long as like.
Look, it'll be like a Sheffield Shield game. That's what it'll be like. There'll be seagulls and a couple of members in the library, and that'll be it. So it's not good for the club. This is not good for the club. Our continued poor performance. Now we got injuries. Like, we're already in. Like, let's just get up the draft picks for next year and try and work out. I know Tasmania will have the Fibonacci sequence of draft picks. They'll have 0, 1, 3, 5, 9, 11, 13, 15, whatever, and we'll try and somehow like shoehorn in there, and maybe we'll finish second last and get pick 18. But we're already starting to look at the draft now, and I just think it's not good for the club. We already, I know our membership numbers look all right, but how many
They're
people
down
are taking?
too,
Well, they are down, but also how many people are taking admin memberships rather than, like, am I right in saying you've got the membership that enables you to get into the grand final? Is this right, Fiona?
I do. And you know what? For every year of my membership, like an absolute dum-dum, I need to go back and actually maybe when I want to be more depressed, I'll go back and I'll add up the extra cost that add-on was onto my membership. I'm at 18 years and I've been a member for 18 consecutive years and I've had it every single of those years and it's cost me an extra. So what I could have done with
how much does it cost you extra just to get the grand final?
That's what I'm saying. I need to work it out. But actually I don't, because do I need to be more depressed? Like,
you could have just taken that money and got a match and burnt it.
I could have. So could have. But you know what? The theory remains that the year I don't get it is the year we make it and I miss out on a ticket. And that fear, so long as that fear is a reality, and let's be honest, all options are reality, potential to happen in the future, I will continue to pay it like an idiot and lose money.
Well, I think there's some that are not as stupid, loyal as you.
Thanks for that.
And yeah, I just reckon this is bad for the club. And it looks like another year down the drain. We've already, as I said, we've got injuries. I don't even want to talk about players. Zach Merritt, I'm over Zach Merritt.
Oh.
650,000. So that's not the price of a decent house in any suburb these days, unfortunately.
I mean, I could have, gone around the world. I could have done many things. But just on Zach Merritt, did you see his body language? I know you were at the ground today, but did you happen to see his body language?
I saw his fumbles.
There we go. 31,000 today.
Yeah, I mean, that's dire, really. That's dire. And I reckon Brisbane had a fair, they've got the old Fitzroy supporters every year on top of my membership. Yeah. You could have given that to somebody could have built a well in sub-Equatorian Africa and saved some kids. That could have been 300 malaria tablets.
Oh, don't put it that
there's
way.
So many better things to do with that money.
I would give all my money to charity if I didn't have to pay bills, but that sucks for almost 20 years. Anyway, sorry, continue.
But yeah, talk to me about Zach Merritt's body language. I did see he laid a few tackles, but then other times he seemed to drift out of the game a bit, and he's fumbling. I don't understand what's happened to him.
Yeah, I just thought it was poor, but at this point, I'm just expecting that now, and I'm just not comfortable with what that's doing to the group,
Mm.
Is that confirmed, Hayden? Haydos, is that confirmed? How long's usually a collarbone keep you out for? Oh. I had a post ready to go. I had a post ready to go for him next week. I had a post ready to go for him, and now it's not going to happen.
Well, I thought he looked good last week. He was one of the few people that looked good, and to know that he's
hang on, it's one or the other, guys.
Broken collarbone is at 6 weeks, surely.
It's longer than 6 weeks, you're saying?
It's got to be longer. It's got to be longer than 6 weeks.
Okay, so maybe TL is just trying to protect my mental health with that.
Possibly.
Oh, no. Huss is done as well. Oh, this is just... Mid-season draft could be coming around. Are we going to take another 13 players at the mid-season draft? Well, put that stream into your diaries, everyone, because we did a stream last year, so we might need to do a live stream again on that. But anyway, sorry, continue, Solution. What else did you want to talk about?
No, I've got nothing else to say. It's just shit. Oh. It's shit. It's a shitty time. No one's going to the games. It all sucks balls. Brad Scott, I know he's, he's got a tough job, but I still don't get the Sardis dropping, and to say it's defensive transition, well, again, he should drop 20 players this week.
Or the entire midfield, at least.
Well, exactly right. Caldwell, maybe he's been playing injured. That's the only really explanation I can think for why he's looked so poor over the last month. But it's like, it's yet again, it's the sins of Dodoro that we're paying for here. we're still continuing to pay for the sins of the Doro. And it's not until we continue to get more draft picks. But, like, are we going to retain these great young players? That's the other question.
My mind can't go there, because if
they're going to be offered a mozza.
I'll pack this all in.
Look at Nate Caddy. I had some Brisbane fans behind me, next to me, and just saying, look, he's a star. Like they were saying, he's a star. And like you could go along just to watch him. Him and Roberts, I think, are the two that I'd be happy just to go along and watch. But like someone's going to throw money at them.
Yeah. Yep. But I do know for a fact that Nate Caddy's love affair with this club is extremely strong. And just like in all good relationships, you need to be some taking and giving.
Yeah.
So I just hope that outside of a W, we are giving him more behind the scenes potentially and kind of really supporting him and making him feel, look, I think we are making him feel loved and appreciated, but he is very, very in love with this club. So I wouldn't be worrying. I wouldn't nobody get sucked into the media talks and you know, any speculation about Nat Caddy, because he really, really has some. I know you're saying so was Draper, but I never felt it like this from Draper. Maybe Draper was when he was a bit younger, but I don't know. I thought Draper was the chameleon. I didn't know. I didn't really feel like it was like he's dead set, deeply in love with this team, like a Dyson Sharp is.
I got the sense Draper was deeply in love with himself towards the end.
So I didn't want to say that. I thought it was a bit mean, but yeah. Towards the end, it certainly felt like it. Certainly felt like it anyway. Maybe initially he was, and again, we're going to have to show some signs. I'm not saying we don't have to show anything to keep Caddy, but eventually we'll have to start showing some signs. But he wants to be part of the change. That's probably the difference, rather than just like win a premiership. He wants to be part of the process. Okay. He wants to be part of the journey. You know,
is he sure about that?
I'm sure about that for now. Like, I can't confirm whether that's going to stay that way. And again, I hope we're, like, as I said, I hope we're coming to the party in other ways, because we can't give him wins right now, many. So I agree, Space Coyote. I hope we give him a monster contract extension. And look, I think he'd be happy to sign it right now. I do. That's how confident I am. But
give him a lot of money.
His manager won't let him, and that's smart business. But we'll see how we go.
But anyway, I've got nothing else. I want to see Bintang, Scotty.
All right, he's here, so we'll see if we can get him working. All right, thanks, Solution. Take care.
No worries. Peace out.
All right, can you hear me?
Oh, no, it's happened again. Sorry, for some reason, I'm doing my three little dots. I know you can hear me. I'm doing my three little dots, but I'm not getting any option to... I'm not getting any option for me to hear you, sorry.
Like click.
Can you nod your head if you hear me? Okay. I can give you my little 2-minute spiel then. But yeah, look, but yeah, sorry. It might be because it's a work phone. It might be a security thing, sorry, that's actually riding over the default. But look, watch the game. From Bali. Yes, the volume's definitely up. Thank you. But yeah, watch the game from Bali. Look, from my initial takeaway, the three dots will give you the option for sound. And if you click that and then select default, it should work. Yeah, I actually am doing that, would you believe? But for some reason, something's overriding it, and I don't know what. And I don't know if it's my work company. So sorry about that. Okay. I'll try again. No, nothing's working. Sorry, banter audience, for this. I'll just talk for 2 minutes and then leave you all. Look, as far as the game, and this is a hard one because usually I bounce off Fiona a lot and I can't hear her. But look, it was a tough watch for the most one. I think it was a game where 7 or 8 individuals were left to do too much and to apply the pressure too much, where probably half the team I didn't think really came with the defensive work rate that I expect, and I feel like that's where we get high scores. So I thought Caddy was pretty sensational in competing all day. He's had 33 now shots on goal in his first 7 games. So that's a tremendous kind of output. He's actually on target to kick around 45, 46 goals. So we're seeing a massive big step up with Cads. So, and considering sometimes our ball movement and what he has to do and sometimes go out to the boundary line side to get it because we're not using the corridor that well. He's just trying his heart out, and that's all I can ask. So I'm pretty proud of how he's presenting. Look, obviously, much better signs from Roby and Sharp today. I thought that was pretty much the key takeaway. I love that they had a bit of time in the midfield, and their GPS numbers sort of said that they're up and about. So I really liked. I think I had Roby at one stage as running the second most kilometres on the ground. So of both teams. So that tells me he's in a much better fitness bracket, which probably means he's going to get in a much better headspace. And I think we just started to see that today. I thought Sharpie looked more natural around the ball. When he went to the midfield, it just felt like the Sharpie that we're kind of expecting. So it's a weird game. There were some really good moments amongst the terrible kind of result, because like even Peter Wright probably had one of his best games for the club. He was absolutely, I think he had like 11 score involvements and 26 and 3 or 4 clearances and 2 goals. I mean, there's not much more you can ask against Draper and co. So he was sensational. I thought El Houli, unfortunately, I've been watching the show. The collarbone doesn't sound good, but unfortunately, he was such a good. He just needed that 3 or 4 more games. I really felt like we had a player there. And obviously, El Ashkar's got injured. Reece Unwin's done a bad hamstring in the VFL. And that looks like a bad one. So Caldwell obviously with the knock. So we are getting back to that stage again where the depth is going to get really critiqued. So yeah, it's a tough one. Obviously, look, Parish and May will be available. So I would expect them to come in. But yeah, so and I'm sure the talking point at the VFL will be the Sardis 32 and 10 clearances that he's had. So, yeah, talk away while I'm in Bali. Feel free to debate while I have my cocktails. So, look, it was a good game in a sense of there's some things I wanted to see, and I wanted to see Roby step up, Sharp step up. There's some really good moments there, but boy, there's some also other moments defensively in transition where I don't think fans can cop another 140 points scored against us. So yeah, it's a tough one. GWS next week over there. We'll see how we go. Who comes out for May? I can just read on my phone. Thanks. I'm
going good with there.
It's a very hard one when a player gets injured and Cox comes in for that injured player, and people may think it's rough, but my view is you've come in for the sole reason because May is injured. So it wouldn't surprise me, unfortunately, if Cox goes out again. And that's nothing against Cox, but it's very hard to think otherwise, because it's tough on him, but he has only come in because May's injured. So there's that kind of practical side to selection where but it's tough because Edwards is probably doing enough. He's kind of in and out a bit, but Langford's doing enough. He kicked straight at the start of the game. He had 3 pretty gettable shots on goal. So kicking for goal practice might need a bit of work, but is there a we'll both play? Yeah, Possibly, but I don't know if that means an Edwards or a Day Wicks or someone is accountable to that. But there is a world if they start transitioning more Roby and Sharp to different kind of roles, and they have a bit of a different bench rotation and everything like that. And they could go taller because I mean it's not like Gresham set the world on fire today, so they may go a little bit more that route. But yeah, I felt the energy of Kako lost today. By the way, I know Newen tried. But there's something about Kako that's pretty special and it's pretty unique.
Irreplaceable.
So I did feel he's lost today. Sorry. I know you'd love to talk and debate, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm in this horrible tropical island of Bali that I must get to, and
Fair enough.
so look, we'll see how GWS goes. Hi to Bomber Banter fans. I will say this, and I've got knocked on it from X, and it was discussed before. But if someone can tell me the practical value of Bronx cheering a full back into form, if someone can convince me during the week, happy to catch up with them at a bar. If someone can convince me during the week of what that action can do to a player in a positive light, I'm all ears. But history says for the last 2,000 years that discouragement means less confidence. He played on a debutant. So he was probably going to win that battle, but he did the role that was asked of him. There was moments where we go, yep, we can go harder than that. But like I said, I had that honestly with a number of players today. I just don't like the idea of Essendon crowds Bronx cheer. And this is someone coming from Brent Stanton, Paul Salmon, all these decades of having guys just being the scapegoat of the whole, representing the whole team when we're getting 140 points scored across because we can't defensive transition. But okay, so let's highlight some of that because it's the 64 inside 50s that the guy you're Bronx cheering is having to deal with, because up the ground they're doing the same actions. So that's just my 2 cents worth. But yeah, I'm a supporter, and I want to encourage the guy to get on the bike again, show what he did against the Hawks, show what he did against the D's, where he was considerably a very, very good player, and get him in the right headspace, because that's means my team plays better. So it's my selfish goal. So look, thanks everyone. All the best, Fiona. We'll obviously talk during the week. I've only got one more day to go, so I leave tomorrow afternoon and back midnight on Sunday night. So so I'm going to lap up what I can now, head into the pool. It's only 32 degrees and sunshine here, so sorry everyone. I'll leave you with that taunt.
Appreciate that.
But there's no way I'm getting a tan because I'm from Scottish heritage. So yes. So yes, enjoy everyone. Talk soon, and keep listening to Bomber Banter because it's the best show going around and the best community. So see you everyone. Catch up.
Thank you. Safe travels home. He's not going to hear me say that, but that's fine. We'll send it out in spirit. Paz Master, excellent from Brad Scott. Didn't give a shit about the whiteboard. Said if that is what the competitor thinks your weakness is, if you're a competitor, you respond. Pretty much agree. I completely agree. I dare, if he's not bringing that up though this week or highlighting it in some way to use as motivation, he's probably getting the week wrong. Whiteboard gate, yes, officially. I'm still not 100. Who is anybody else not 110% convinced it's real? Because there's a part of my brain that's not convinced that they just leave that in the offices there. Like, firstly, the offices looked way too clean to not be AI and tidy to not be AI. And then secondly, to just let an Auskicker's dad into the office space and to leave the whiteboard that, I don't know, that I can pick too many holes in this, or maybe I'm just too mistrusting because AI is now a thing. I could be wrong, but to me, I'm not 100% convinced it's wrong. Real. All right, let's have a chat to Jace. Hello, Jace.
Hey, Fiona, how you going?
Not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, okay. I mean, kind of expected this one, so it wasn't totally surprising. Still disappointing though, because I always I always have some kind of hope. Because if you have none, what's the point? But yeah, it's just same kind of story. And what angered me most today was the leadership group and the older senior players. For the most part, it's been mostly a problem all year, and I just feel sorry for some of these young guys. Our leadership has to be questioned.
I completely agree. Anyone in particular?
Well, Zach Merritt. Let's start with him. Just obviously he's checked out. He looks disinterested. He's, as people have said in the chat earlier, self-preservation mode. It's just doesn't seem interested, and he's on his way out probably by the end of the year. So yeah.
I mean, offensively, he looks very interested, and he's always moves a bit quicker when the ball is there to be won and it's going forward. I just not convinced that the same energy's there on the other way. But I mean,
and that's just as important. You've got to be, you got to go two-way running. You've got to be defensively, because that shows the young players what the game's about. So if he's not doing that, what kind of example is it? And I know it's not like we can put him in the VFL or anything like that. We've got enough injuries and other issues at the moment, but
oh no, we don't usually have tech issues with Jace. If I sit here quietly. But this is... Oh, are you back? You're back.
I think I'm back. Am I back?
You can't... The screen is you're moving, yes, but not in usual speed. So, but I can hear you.
Okay, that's all right. Maybe I'll just... Okay, right. Yeah, just what I was saying is, he's not the only one that's not playing well. And yeah, I don't know what we do with that sort of situation when you've got someone who's, I reckon, checked out.
Yeah. I don't have any faith that he's going to be held accountable by being dropped now. There's nothing we can do, unfortunately. Really nothing I can do. It just makes me uncomfortable to see. Can you hear me, Jace?
Yeah, I can still hear you. Sorry.
Okay.
It's the first time
that's all right.
Happened.
I know this doesn't bode well if even now the best Wi-Fi connections is going south. But
that's all good.
Yeah.
I sort of just watched the Brad Scott's press conference, and even that, I'm kind of getting sick of the same rhetoric as well. Like, we get it that they're a young team, and we get like certain things are happening within the side, but it's just the same thing over and over. Even the pre-game presses during the week, I just feel it's the same thing. And like someone has just said in the chat, if we're not thinking about moving him on, we definitely need to bring some good coaches and some experienced finals coaches around him, because I just feel it's the same rhetoric. That's what I'm hearing each week. What do you think about that?
I mean, a part of me, my first instinct was that's because it's happening over and over again. Like, the same issue is just the same issue. Is there a different, I don't know. Do we like, what would I guess the question is, what would you like to hear ideally? And fans, a question to you, chat, as well. Ideally, what do you want to hear from him then?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just want to hear, it comes down to the questions that have been asked to him as well. Like, I just want to hear, like, what are the reasons for, obviously, most of the talk around this week was dropping Elijah. So I want to know, like, what his reasoning was behind that, and what's his plan? Like, what's the game plan? Like, what are they trying to achieve by playing some of these players? That's kind of where I'm at with it. And maybe that's a little bit negative or pessimistic or whatever it is, but I think it's just, and maybe I'm just a bit frustrated after the game. I'm just getting fed up with the same stuff. That's what I'm seeing, and it's really today the only enjoyment I got, apart from like Peter Wright, it was some of the youngsters. You know, the Robies, the Dyson Sharps. I see a real future with them, but again, I've mentioned it before on this channel. If this sort of losing culture and this these leaders not developing these kids 2 or 3 years, 4 years down the track, they might not be playing for us. That's what worries me. And I'm still very strong on that. I am worried about that.
Yeah, that's a fair worry too. That a part of me doesn't like to go there because it is a potential to happen, and that's got to be the priority right now. I would think, is doing everything you can to make sure that these kids not just develop right, but they actually want to continue to be here. And that's why I pointed out that Durham moment where he didn't fly the flag for Dyson Sharp, who got put on his ass from a smart ass after the ball kick. That's the moment where you go in and fly the flag. We're not winning this game, so go make a statement and do it in that moment, because that's what feeds. And that's what, is infectious and makes you walk a bit taller when you know that this team is not just lying down and letting the world happen to you, letting the scoreboard happen to you, letting the bullies happen to you. Like, show a bit of fight in that way if you can't make it to the next contest,
I totally agree. And I totally agree with you about if the whole whiteboard thing was real or not. It doesn't matter if it's not, but use that as motivation for this week. If it was indeed real, use it as motivation, use something. And that's where I'm not seeing from Brad Scott. I'm not seeing like the great coaches that we've seen over time. I'm not just talking about Essendon coaches, but across the AFL, I don't see him come up with anything. Is there any themes during the week? Is there any sort of intrinsic motivations or anything to kind of fire them up? Look, I know today we played a team that's been in the last 3 grand finals, back-to-back premiers. We're a long way off them. I know that, but I just don't see that from Brad Scott, and I think he needs to start doing that. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same thing. And it just worries me the next few weeks. I mean, Giants, that I feel like that could be kind of like a Gold Coast game. We could get close. Like, I'm not totally week after watching the Dockers last night. I don't think we're much. It's all happening over here with them. They're very much the talk of the town. And then after that, we got Richmond. So we don't want to be losing that one. We've got to win that one.
It's true. Well, for the morale, I think, in terms of I see them as our competitor now for the round, the first draft pick or second draft pick, because at this point, I know I'm probably going to be labelled a defeatist and accepting mediocrity, but at this point, the quality of the draft pick matters. Have you seen a couple of these really quality kids? I don't know if any of you saw the Harry Van Hutton reel that Baseline Footy posted on Instagram. If you haven't seen it, I think Scooter put it on X as well. Go have a look at some of his highlights. He's doing ridiculous things, and sometimes the difference between a player like him is the second and third draft pick. So just ask North Melbourne. It's funny because you know how we keep being scared about these kids wanting to leave if you don't develop them right. Well, North Melbourne's kids didn't really leave, and they were very unsuccessful for a long time, and they've just collected these kids and kept them above water in terms of their morale and their belief in the pathway forward. We need to channel that. We need to do what they did to keep because now Larky's played a good handful of games with the next tier down, and they're starting to get some synergy and cohesion with their young group. So we need to be doing that essentially.
Yeah, I totally agree. What the other thing that probably sort of worries me, I know we've talked about this before, and I'd like to know maybe another thought or two from you about this, is, these continuous injuries with the same players. Like today, Caldwell goes down. I mean, not having the great year, but it's the same player. And then we've had Parrish managed. Ridley, obviously, we know all about him. It's just frustrating because I just feel like it's the same players keep getting injured. And can they ever get back to their form? And that's the other problem I think we've had over the last little while, probably for quite a lengthy time now, is that these are the guys that really should be there to support these younger players, but they're just never there. So we're feeding these young players to, pardon the pun, the lion's den in a way. So that's what worries me as well. We're expecting Redmond to come back maybe next week after, Ridley maybe by Richmond. But can we really, really rely on these players? And as Brad Scott said, aka Mackay, which, terrible booing him, but there's no replacement for him. So we have to play him.
And again, I implore you, Nick Rewalt, to do more research. You said you did, but if you had, you would have seen that our defender in the VFL is getting bags kicked on him every single week. In the VFL, our other defender is injured, coming back from an ACL and had a setback. So if you had done research in which you claim, you would actually know that dropping him to the VFL is not an option because there is no replacement. And at the same time, if Zach Reid is performing better, this is not an issue so much. It's just that Zach Reid is not performing great and he's not getting the criticism rightly because he's essentially a young kid having played not a lot of games. So, it's just, anyway.
I think with Zach Reid, it's just before I take off, I think with Zach Reid, it's kind of like the confidence isn't there, and it might be a case of almost self-preservation. Like, I'm trying not to get injured again. Like, so he kind of, that's in the back of his mind still. I mean, who could blame him with all the injuries that he's had? I feel that might be holding him back more than anything because we've seen the talent. He looks like a footballer to me. So I think it's more the mental side of Zach Reid, because at the beginning of last year, we saw what he could do. So it's there. I just don't know. It's almost like if Ridley's not there, Mackay and Reid just don't have that magic. Ridley's the one that seems to unlock it for both of them, as we saw in the Melbourne game.
Yeah, spot on. It is definitely self-preservation a little bit. And I thought, and we're seeing glimpses of it. I'm definitely seeing glimpses of him playing unshackled in moments, and then you'll just see it again, so much so in his head. So that's why I'm just not ready to write him off completely, because I just know that player
Definitely
is in there.
Not.
And if he needs a year of having a Redmond or a Ridley there, just calming the waters for him before he gets a run on in confidence, then so be it. So yeah. All right, Chase. Thanks for jumping on as usual. Some great points.
Thanks again, Fiona, and we'll just keep going like next week. Bye.
We will. See ya. Bye. Hello, Andrew.
Oh, I'm on. Sorry.
Just too busy looking over your piano music.
No, I was looking at the bets of the TAB, but not going too well there either. But
that's no good.
No, it's all good. Well, did you go to the game?
I did.
Yeah. What did you think? I missed your beginning, so
that's all right. I won't put people through pain of listening to me again. But look, essentially, I was happier with the effort, and I know that effort is non-negotiable, and we shouldn't praise effort because that should be there every week. Unfortunately, it's not there every week for us. It doesn't look like it's there every week unconditionally for us. So I was happier with the effort and the intent and the fight. I'm happy that my guy, 2 Meter Peter and Dyson Sharp had excellent games. Yep. So I can't be too upset about that. Just our lack of class and polish is hurting us, because if we can't defend transition, if we can't defend on turnover, okay, but when you get your chance, when you force turnover, you need to capitalize. When you go inside 50, you need to capitalize. And we played like a team who, we can handle, a behind here because we're going all right. I know they're not doing it on purpose, but a little polish and class to help with that would go a long way.
Well, we missed some really easy shots for goals. You know, Langford missed a couple. Not much pressure there.
Yep.
Caddy also missed one or two easy ones. Or no.
Wow. Yeah, he had some tough positions on the ground.
When I spoke to one of the players a while back, and I asked him a question about why do we go to the pockets? We actually direct ourselves to the pockets. He said it's the coach's instructions. So I said, no. That's not good. That's not good. I said, you're cutting the angles of, like anybody who's played football would know that the wider you go, the more difficult set shots are. You know, like they're 50-50. If you're going direct and you're in that within 30 metres of goal, 35 metres of goal, between the goal post, that's your easiest kick. Should be your easiest kick. But we tend to go right on the boundary line, out in the pockets, and it's a 50-50 kick. Now, either they're too scared to go through the corridor, or our big men are not confident enough to take the mark or bring the ball down, and for our little players to actually jump on the ball like top clubs do. You look at Geelong, you look at Brisbane, you look at some of the other clubs, top clubs, they always go through the corridor. Doesn't mean they win all the time. It's a contest. And I think we're a little bit scared of the contest about losing the ball, turning it over, and not being able to transition or stop. And that's why they go the safe option by going to the boundary. And if they don't mark the ball, they can push it over the line and reset. The other one, which I thought was pretty bad, was the always handballing to a standstill player. Now, in the you would know, and most people will know, even the under 12s would know, when you're directing your players, you never handball to a person standing still. Okay, like you don't handball because you're going to get clobbered, or you're going to be caught, or you're flat-footed. So you've got to basically have a moving object when you handball most of the time you can. Now, most of your viewers and people listening in would know that. So I'm not telling them anything new, but we consistently do that. Yep. We consistently basically look for a target which is not moving. Either they're under pressure and they're just trying to get rid of the ball.
That's exactly what it is. I was just about to say, it's just handballing pressure. That's all it is. Making it somebody else's problem.
Perceived pressure. And then I thought, look, there was some really good, as you said, Sharp played well. Although, if I was Essendon and their development coaches, I would try and get him an extra half yard or half a metre in pace. I think if we can get another a bit more quickness out of his running, I think he would really cut it up a lot more than he does. I think he's a little bit slow. That's my opinion. I think he's a little bit on the slow side. And I like Roby's game too. I love Roby's game as well. So Roby, Sharp, they and again, we go back to what you were saying before with the other viewers, the other comments that some of our senior players, and this came after the Anzac Day again. And again, I was pretty critical, and I actually sent a few things up to online, and I canned the coach a bit. Not canned him personally. I just canned his coaching, the way he's coaching the side, because he lost the game in Anzac Day through selection and moves. And he's done the same again today to a certain extent, in my view. He could have, if you got Mackay lacking confidence and people booing him, which I thought was pretty ordinary, very ordinary booing him. Is that going to give him confidence by booing him?
Exactly. It's counterproductive, literally.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to encourage the poor bugger. But why don't they move him? Why don't they run him on the ball for a quarter or 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Why don't they put him down the forward line? Well, he's a big guy. Why can he not play those positions, or he won't play those positions? we're getting thumped. We're getting thumped down that forward line in the sense of when the ball's coming into the forward line, it's caddy or nothing, basically. I thought a little bit. I'm not sure anybody else would think it that way. I think if caddy didn't mark it, there was nobody else marking it. Well, Langford marked it a few times.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah. So, and Langford let himself down by kicking poorly. I think he would have had a fairly good game because, you don't need to get 20 or 30 possessions to be a good player. You just need to, if you get your 5 kicks in the forward line, you kick 5 goals, you've done your job.
Yep.
And unfortunately,
Agreed.
he went the other way. And, so, but I think we've got a lot of things to look at off-season.
Well, that's, just on the leaders and coming after Anzac Day that you mentioned. That's why 2 Meter Peter's game as one of the more experienced guys is that's the platform. There's the tangible way that you respond with how he did today. Again, he looked like he would have been really taking it personally last week, and he should have, because he got thoroughly, substantially, comprehensively beaten by two very good rucks, and he would have taken. And today he looked like he took it to heart, and that's exactly what you want to see. How you want to see a senior player respond, and that's why. Yeah, I know. Some people are saying, "Oh, that's the basis and the basics of what he should be doing," but he was the only one of the senior players who did it. And Durham, a leader, he did it too.
They played well.
He played like he got an absolute rocket up him. And 2 Meter Peter is self-motivated in that way. He doesn't need the fans or coaches to yell in his face. He's got self-pride and he gets himself up. So I'm just really proud of how he stood back up today.
And what do you think about our midfield today? Our midfield, clearance midfield?
Well, we won the stoppages, lost the centre clearances. No surprises there after the personnel shake-up. I'm a little bit surprised, I will say, that we didn't lose it by more. So I don't know. I'm interested to hear Brad Scott and what he said. Yeah, I hope people who listen to the press conference, I hope a journalist asked him about the Sardis again.
Well, I don't know what the answer there is with him, Sardis, because he had a good game in the reserves in the VFL today. He had well over 20 possessions. So I watched I
might rewatch the replay of that, because possessions don't tell the whole story. If defensive accountability is what you've been dropped for, rightly or wrongly, I personally think wrongly, because I think everybody else should be accountable for that too. But did we see something better from him on the defensive accountability front in the VFL? So I'm going to watch that. I'm not going to get seduced by the possessions.
No. Okay. Well, if you go by KPIs, everybody's got KPIs. If he's got that KPI, that means this is where selection integrity comes into it. If you're going to go around singling out 1 or 2 players and say to them that you're being dropped because we want you to do X, Y, and Z better, and you're not doing X better, so we're going to drop you, then that has to be accountable for every player on that ground, not just ones who have, the merit situation. Now, apparently 3AW, I haven't seen the whole thing on 3AW, but what's her name? The reporter, female reporter, not Wilson, Caroline Wilson, basically said there's a leaked document. It's out on the internet somewhere about every Essendon player. There's a summary on every Essendon player given to the Brisbane Lion players, and that's normal what you give. Like you go for your team thing. You say, well, this player does this player does that, but it was leaked to the public.
Are you talking about the whiteboard?
The whiteboard.
Oh yeah, we've talked about that ad nauseum already.
Okay, good. Yep. Now, okay. Well, I won't go through that again because I missed the part of it. Now, thing is, home truths. Merritt is selfish, but he should be selfish. All top players are selfish, okay, because they're self-driven. Selfish and self-driven. There's
an element. I agree with that to an extent, but you're not a tennis player. If you want to be selfish, like 100%, 10 out of 10. Be a tennis player, because you cannot play a team sport if you cannot play in a team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. But I think you've got to have that for a top player. You had to have pride in. Well, okay. Well, you got to have pride in your game. You got to be able to basically do. If you think you're an elite sports person, you need to show that you basically do that on the ground. And he shows that every time. But does he bring other players into the game? Does he?
But have we been too accepting of? Have we been too accepting of his lack of defensive accountability? Because if we're holding Elijah Sardis to this high standard, if we're holding all of a sudden Elijah Sardis and highlighting it up in lights for everybody to see, why have we been too accepting of this from Merritt? Because Kane Corns is right on that part. He's the quickest player when he's running around for the little 2-meter handball to get going forward. But I don't know.
He's not the only player in the side who hasn't been accountable for certain things they need to do. But where do we go from here? Now, obviously, we've been found wanting against the top 8 sides. We're nowhere near those top 8 sides in relation to, Brisbane, Collingwood. Although Melbourne, we did okay for some strange reason. We played really top, and against the Gold Coast, we were able to do certain things which we haven't seen for a while. So where's the consistency there? And they need to tap into that and see what can they do to get back to that sort of standard, But we are lacking it. We are, you say Peter did very well on the ruck, but then again, we steal him away from our forward line a bit, So
people are saying he's no good down there. So I don't know.
I think he's very good if the ball's delivered properly to him.
True. I mean, all forwards are. Wouldn't it be beautiful to get the delivery that I know some people in the chat are saying that Brisbane did so well to get their shots at goal 30 metres out. And sure, but did you see some of the threading the needle kicks that they made? Crazy. Like that's you can't fight some of that. You can't fight the delivery.
Well, that's the reason why they won 2 premierships. That's why right. They are a top side. I think they coasted today, Brisbane. I think they could have won by a lot more. Really, I think they weren't going at 100%. I think we were.
I think they were. I mean, I'll watch the replay, but I felt like they were.
Yeah,
I do.
Coasting or
no? I don't think they were.
Well, I think
my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think certain stages there they took when they wanted to go, they went. When they sat back a bit, they sat back a bit. That's my opinion. They went on a lot of pressure. They made mistakes, but I think we, like handballing. Who was it? McGrath who handballed over the top.
Yep, backwards. We've covered that as well. It was. It was from a Reed kick that put Caldwell under pressure, and then McGrath, who had a moment.
And Reed's kicking is a little bit iffy, short. When he kicks short, it's a little bit scrappy. I think Reed's a very good kick when he kicks long, but when he tries to kick, it's players who need development and need skilled training, and they need to practice it more and more. And I thought Sard played a very good game. I thought Sard Hooley played a very good game, and he got injured, did a shoulder at the end of the game, didn't he?
He did a collarbone. He's broken his collarbone, unfortunately, which hurts the gut. But Moby, don't snap at me. I was the front row for this game, so I was very close to the Brisbane players. They were jogging, and as Craig points out, they play tempo football because they can, because they know when to hold back, not to gut run, not to spend all your tickets if you don't have to, because they are so well drilled. They know when to fold off their opponents and fold up and lengthen the forward line. They know how to gain territory by foot because their skills are so good, so they don't have to work as hard. I was there and watching the game.
I don't think it was a terrible game by Essendon. I just disappointing in parts. I think a lot of players did try. A lot of young players did try.
Yeah, I just didn't think they were coasting. I don't subscribe to them. I think Port Adelaide coasted at times in that game. I think Hawthorn, Bulldogs potentially, if you want to say they coasted, I still don't agree with that. They got injuries.
Well, coasting might be it might be the wrong word. I might be using the wrong word. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Like snapping at me. I'm just kidding, Moby. He's a regular. We love Moby.
But at the end of the day, we've got skilled, and we've been saying this all year. You've been saying this all year. People who come on have been saying it all year. We've got players who are skill deficient. We've got team issues in relation to how they mix, how they know each other's game. Mm-hmm. We've got coaching issues, which I don't think they're up to scratch. But again, the season will tell us how bad they are and what we need to do in that space. And we've got basically recruitment to do. Now,
we do.
Now the thing is, I don't think we'll get that ruckman, which you pointed out, because Richmond needs a ruckman, and they'll finish last.
Well, we don't know. We could lose to them.
You would hope. We hope we don't finish wooden spoon. Seriously.
Well, but who cares? Like, I'm asking you this respectfully. Do you care? Does it mean a lot to you to not get a spoon genuinely? Okay. I know the saga year doesn't count.
For an older person like myself, way before you were born, and a lot of the viewers were born, I used to watch the footy in the 70s as a young kid. And each year we would win 2 or 3 games in that year in the early 70s, and we would win against Footscray or Fitzroy and occasionally South Melbourne, and we wouldn't win the wooden spoon. So we win 2 or 3 games, and I always looked at the ladder, and I reckon it was a successful year when we didn't finish on the bottom. That was me. I still hold that true. I really hate finishing, that'll have been an indictment of the club. If we finish last now, after a 3-year rebuild, so-called, after 20 years of basically very mediocre football, and we finish on the bottom of the ladder, and you've got a president out there says no more, we're not going to be pushed around anymore, and we're going to basically be aggressive and all the rest, and we finish last, and we lose don't win more than 6 games for the year. Well, we've lost.
Does North Melbourne seem to have turned it around? Do they care that they finished last? How many wooden spoons have they got? Their fans don't care. I don't care. If finishing last gets me a player that helps me win a flag in, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years time, whatever, I'm not going to remember that we finished last, nor am I going to care. Really?
Well,
semantics.
Second
last. Is 18th any worse than 17th?
No. Statistically, no. But pride-wise, to me, it is, because we've been a laughing stock for a long time in the sense of the AFL. A North Melbourne supporter in a cafe the other week I was at said straight out, "I hate Essendon because you kept us out of the VFL." And she's only 20. And she's coming out with those sort of comments, seriously. And I turned around and said to her, "We should have kept you out for a lot longer." That's what I said.
Nice. Well done, Andrew.
Anyway.
Yeah, look, let's get us.
Well, some people might not care when you finish.
Get me the best kid in the land, because the only thing that's going to speed this up is getting the best kids in the land and high draft picks. Andy McGrath is our last top 5 draft pick. We need to get as high as possible. And if that's getting Harry Van Houten, if that's getting RG Barker, if whatever it is, because somebody, I think it's TL, pointed out that Richmond do need midfielders too. Their midfield is aging and
yes,
their kids can't get on the park. So they need midfielders. They'll probably come for Elijah Sardis. But point is, I personally don't care if it's 18th or 17th, but I appreciate the fact that it's a pride thing.
Well, is it? Well, yeah, it's pride, and basically, when you got half your family who are Collins supporters, and you got the other half of the family Carlton, they give it. Most families have got that sort of mix, and they give it to you, especially if you finish last. You don't want to give them the edge over Christmas dinner, them having a go during Christmas dinner.
What did I say? I thought isn't his name Ari Barker?
Okay. Yeah, he's a midfielder, isn't he? That one.
Yeah, but isn't that his name?
Oh, I don't know. I heard the name. What's his name?
RG. Sorry. Yeah. I did say Barker, though. Yeah. RG.
I think, look, there's a couple there. look, we need more than one or two players.
Yeah, agreed. And
we need some experienced players to come into that side, and we need to go out. I reckon Pendlebury, if Essendon, Archie, but
sorry, I'm so sorry, I got his name wrong.
Anyway,
so much.
If he comes to us,
it'll be in my brain.
We need to get, if Pendlebury's finishing his season this year, throw the checkbook at him and say, come to us as the assistant coach. We want you at the club. Or if you want to play one more year, come and play a year or two at Essendon, and we don't care. We'll put you into the side to show the young players how to actually play football.
Yeah,
really.
I agree.
We need a couple of those sort of players in the side. I know it's an indictment on some of the other senior players, but we need to get one or two players to show the way, in leadership, in style, in commitment. And when things are tough, we need to get a couple of players in from somewhere to help these young. We don't want these young players to go through another period where they're learning bad habits. And, we don't want them to drop their confidence either, But look, I think
these guys that we've recruited, and we haven't even spoken about Farrow and Kondo today.
Yes, all ticks. Tick, tick, tick.
But they've got a, I don't know, they've got a bit
they
more.
Need some support.
They've got a bit more. They've got a bit more mental dexterity, I think.
Yes.
So I don't know that they're just going to, I've got no leaders to kind of lean on. I'm just going to give up my own development. I just feel that they're made of something a bit different.
Well, did you see all the players go up to our big number two, ex-number two, Draper, and they were all telling him, well, we'll be up in Brisbane next year. Just wait for us. We're coming
Don't be going with that. Andrew's. Are we not in pain enough?
Sorry. I shouldn't say that.
I'll forgive you this time, but that might get you a ban.
I'm being a bit flippant and sarcastic.
That's all right. We're allowed to.
But how did you take his game? He didn't play that well today, I don't think, Draper.
He
was just there, wasn't he?
He had a very nice kick into the forward 50, and I thought, geez, I've never seen that. You've never seen you do that in the red and black, but all right. No. But outside of that, no. Yeah, mainly because I was too enamored with how my big ginger was going. So, I thought it was largely, I watched the replay, but from being there, largely kind of nothing. So,
yeah, look, the only thing I'm going to finish up on is that Essendon has to be very careful not to lose the next generation of supporters if we already haven't done that. Young people are basically not wanting to put the red and black on, not wanting to go to games. Sorry, and
Well, just on that, that's interesting because a lot of people say that, but I did have someone comment, a lady comment and message me saying that at her son, was it her son or daughter? I think son's Auskick warm-ups or events that they go to, that she was saying that there's continuously kids with Bombers Guernseys on at like outnumbering the other clubs.
Good.
So that made me feel a little bit better. And so well done to you parents who are still kind of keeping the hope alive with your young kids, because they're going to do what you encourage them to do. And yes, they're not going to like losing, but essentially they're going to follow the parents' lead. And so well done. Tick to the parents.
Okay. Well, there you go. Because my kids are 24, they're twins, and they've never seen Essendon win a final. I don't think, and they haven't been. They haven't seen Essendon do anything since they were born. So, it's a long time. It's a long drought, and we just hope for the next group are coming through have a lot more success than some of the younger kids are seeing at the moment. And,
definitely. Thank you, Andrew. Appreciate you jumping on as always. Thanks for the chat.
No problem. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Here's the link. Someone's got to come on and save the fan cams, and you know what I mean by that. So jump on. Whilst I'm waiting for someone to do that, let's have a chat to Chris. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah. Another sort of like deflating loss, They're just, I don't know, too strong, too fast, too clean.
Yep.
They just made it look easy. Like, third quarter, they just like last week, they just put us to the sword in the third quarter. First 15 minutes of the last quarter, that's when we sort of played better. There's a mistake that I think Caldwell made where he, from towards the center, he kicked it all the way back, and
I remember that.
Reed
And it went out.
Well, Reed didn't compete for it really. Like, he could have got it, but he didn't. He didn't compete for the ball,
But why wasn't it kicked on the full? Why is he competing for that? Why isn't Caldwell hitting that on the full? It was unpressured.
I think it was like that far away from the. It wasn't like a bounce, sort of like that far in. Like, it wasn't sort of like on the full. Like,
no, it wasn't. It dribbled over, but it was right where I was sitting on my side of the ground and in front of me, and I was in the front row. And granted, he was very upset with himself when he did it, but
that was the worst. I thought that's like, I thought we were over those days, like kicking it all the way back, and Roby's goal was unbelievable. Like, Caddy was pretty good forward. I don't know if Edwards was sort of out of place a bit, was he?
No, he played a pretty good game, probably down on his usual output, but I thought he did some nice.
Talking about in position.
Oh, no, he did some nice things as a half forward. He played half forward. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I think for me, I don't think sort of like getting more young players is sort of like the answer for us. I'd rather like the experienced players like Bailey, Butters, and those type of players that are like aggressive and know what to do with the ball, and that that are really skillful.
Well,
because that's what we're
they're not going to want to come to us. B, they're going to cost us a lot in draft capital and money, which money we have, but and we're not contending. So the reality is most of them are not going to want to come anyway. So we're going to have to go through the draft and get some cheap leaders who are at the end of their career.
Yeah. And again, like the talking thing will be like the Zach Merritt is definitely gonna leave, Matthew Lloyd saying that they'll be like the talk for the week, and I think that's always been the talk for the year, like since we started,
Mm-hmm.
It's probably why it's sort of like it's affected the leadership group. I think.
Well, I don't really think he's a leader and has been, but
But I'm saying
I don't know.
His other teammates still thinking, no, you really don't want to be here, Whereas the kids, they don't really care, they just want to play.
I mean, we won't know for sure, but I think if that's affecting our other leaders, well, we've got some poor leaders then, because be better than that. Actually take a stand for something, believe in something, demand that this is your club, take ownership, say this is the club, I'm going to be part of making it better, not following somebody else's feelings,
Yeah. Durham was pretty good, like back to his sort of like form, like for the first two quarters. But yeah, you can't really say anyone was good for the third quarter, because like we got
Peter Wright was good for. I think he had a good 4-quarter game.
But yeah, we got smashed in the third quarter. So we let that many goals go through. I don't know if you can count that as a good quarter for us or good.
Not
plays
for us.
Yeah.
But Peter Wright had a good quarter because he had not a good quarter, but he had a good game. He did his job. And that's all we can ask him to do. So, but generally, I think most players went to whether Brisbane took it up a level or we didn't come out ready after the halftime break. I don't know what it was, but that was definitely the worst quarter. The second quarter was good.
Yeah,
really good.
I mean, I sort of had hope because we beat Melbourne. They lost to Melbourne, and I thought, we're going to beat them because they lost to Melbourne and we beat Melbourne.
Yep.
It's like we can't play at the MCG. We can't play at Marvel. We sort of can play at Adelaide Oval.
Sort of, yeah.
So let's put all our home games at Adelaide Oval.
Oh God, yeah. If we're getting to that, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Richmond are winning at the moment, halftime, 52-42.
Early days.
Yeah.
It's in up in Perth. So
yeah,
it's good for Richmond to get a win. Go Richmond, actually.
If we lose,
everybody in on Richmond.
Yeah, if we lose to them,
Look, it's not going to be fun, but at the end of the day, I'll wake up and know that pick number 1 is on. So the race for pick 1 is on.
Yeah.
But it's going to suck. That night, that fan cams, we're all going to be in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
But long term and the end of the year, and I can't believe we're talking about the draft already, but that's just the road we're on, the journey we're on. And it feels like the deja vu. I get it. I do.
Yeah. So,
all right, Chris.
I don't know which our next win will be. I'm hoping it's Richmond.
Yep. We'll see how we go. Who knows what the rest of the year is going to hold. But thank you for jumping on.
No problem.
See you later.
All right, bye.
All right, let's have a chat. Hello, Felix. Hope you're well. Yeah, was that as painful as you expected? I think we chatted about it in the preview. How much did you say in the end? Was it 20 points? Scooter, I hear Caddy gave a very brutal, honest take on 3AW, so it'll be interesting to hear what he said. Oh, if anybody has a link to that, send that through because we will listen to it together. Mr. Magic, agreed. Caldwell needed to attack their ball. His drop in form is concerning. Yeah, I had such high hopes for this game, given that Parrish is out, Sardis is out. I had really high hopes for him to channel what he did last year against Brisbane, but I don't know. I think he feels a bit overwhelmed with everything, which, again, big boy pants on and we just got to push through. But, yeah, it's hard to stomach, really. Hello, Bomber Girl. Totally agree with Aki Butler as well. Fast, small centre line needs it. We should go hard at the draft table. Yeah. What's a Nubian? A Nubian is a newbie who will save the fan cam. So please jump on for a chat. Or we might not be here next week. Don't make me threaten you. Come on. There we go. Thank you, Dave. Yeah. At this point, we are not an attractive prospect. But I take it back to North Melbourne, who couldn't attract a big fish. And so they got Luke Parker and Caleb Daniel. And I remember, hearing the sentiment from Sydney Swans and the sentiment from Bulldogs saying that they were washed up and they were done. And then they had the first year in the system at North Melbourne, and North Melbourne fans were on their back saying what a waste. And they're coming good now. So there is no rhyme and reason to this. Sometimes luck is also a part Sorry, G Pat, I didn't acknowledge this. Thank you for the 5. Does Merritt even care anymore? Probably not. Probably not. It's entirely kids this year unless we can find a leader or two as an unrestricted free agent. Yeah, I think that's going to be. Or like, I know a lot of people have brought up Nick Vlaston, who, has leadership, finals and flag experience, but I don't know, like he's copping it a lot for how he's done, If he comes in, are we going to just is he going to be just are we going to be playing with one less on the field for him to be out there for leadership? Like you got to give something to get something. I don't know. It's a balance, I guess, isn't it? Craig, it says a lot that the young kids like Roberts, Caddy, Kako are the ones showing the leadership qualities and actually want to drive the club forward, throw in sharp. The kids will be leaders. Hope so. Fagan is a gentleman. He practically took the foot off the pedal at quarter time. That is not true at all. At all. Now, there's a race we can win if you had for pick number 1. True. Very true. Very true. If we lose to Richmond, Scott has signed his paycheck out. Interesting. True. I mean, are they the metrics that Andrew Welsh was talking about? Because, I mean, I know Tom Morris during the week brought that up as like an out, potentially. I know Andrew Welsh obviously came out and said that we expect Brad Scott to be the premiership coach. But if you read into what he said if certain metrics are met kind of thing. And he insinuated that they were met. But if finishing last on the ladder, is that a metric that who knows what they're measuring Brad Scott on? I think it's certain player metrics that is going to not wins or losses. So I think if we lose Dreamtime, but Caddy, Kako, Roberts, who else? I probably would say Perkins, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. My point is, I think if those players, if their metrics are increased and progressing in the right direction, I think they're the Brad Scott metrics, in my opinion. I don't think it's necessarily win-loss. It could be. I'm not privy to those conversations, but I just think they might use the players as the metric. That's the link for the interview, Fiona. Oh, where? Where's the link? Did I miss it? Sorry, Joe. Did you post it and I missed it? Post it again for me. Hey, Clinton. I was thinking Jed Buse from Geelong as he is running around in the seconds. Interesting. I mean, they just can't fit all their talent in, can they? Down there. What a problem to have. Wouldn't hate that one. Here's an out there pitch. Tex Walker. Don't hate that by you, Moby. Oh, DM me where? Twitter? X? Because that I can access whilst I'm still here. Actually, can you people still see me? Yeah. When I'm not in the window. I don't know why I opened it there. All right, let's see if we can listen to it together, actually, because I can do that. Oh, here we are. Okay. Is this I wonder if this is the entire... Oh, yeah, 5 minutes. All right, let's have a look. All right, let's get it in. Let me just share my screen. Oh, here we are. As usual, people, tell me if the sound is all good.
When you book, as always, back when someone in the losing side pops up to have a chat
Sound
with us
good?
on 3AW Football.
Yes, I've got Nate Caddy with me. Nate, thanks so much for your time. A bad loss today. They really put the foot down after halftime.
Yeah, it was obviously not how we wanted the game to go. We just fell apart a bit in the second half and, not what we wanted to do. But, we'll move on and look forward to next week.
most of the footy world pre-game was talking about whiteboard gate, the leaked photo from the Brisbane planning session, analysing you guys, your strengths, your weaknesses. Were you aware of that before you went into the game, and what were your thoughts?
No, I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. I don't know what you're on about, so.
I can see in your face you were very aware.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, to be honest. It was it wasn't on my mind, to be honest. We're just worried about playing football.
Mate,
Wow.
it's Sam Doherty up here, mate. Well done on your night personally, mate. You presented all night. You worked your backside off. 3 goals, 5. Might be a bit of goal kicking practice during the week, but I thought you were outstanding for your side. I'm just curious on your thoughts to the start of the season for you guys. What have you learned about yourself and the group?
That I do need to have some goal kicking practice. I think that's 6-8 for the last 2 weeks, which is really disappointing. And I'm letting the team down by not executing. But, we started off really poorly. We had a really good game against Melbourne, did what we want to do against Gold Coast, but didn't get the win. And unfortunately, we've dipped to the low that we had at the start of the season again, which is no good. And, we've got a lot to work on. We know that. We're trying to get there quick, but sometimes it just takes a bit of time. We all back each other. We're just really excited for when we can, play as a team and work through things. But at the moment, it's pretty tough.
Just drawing back onto that, say the game against Melbourne. What stands out when you guys are playing your best footy, and what are you guys chasing at the moment?
It's just our pressure method. The way that we want to, play against teams is just, really pressuring them and making sure that they've always, got to make a decision and, being there for when they do. We've proven that we can do it, and we got a lot of belief in that game. And, unfortunately, it's kind of fallen apart. But we don't use the excuse that we're young, but we are learning all together. I think I've only played about 35 games, and the rest of a few boys have only played less than 10. So we're all working it out together, and we're really excited for what's to come. But this is just growing pains, I think, at the moment. And I'm just really excited for when things turn, and I think all the boys are as well. We'll keep fighting for that.
Just as a team, when the opposition and the Lions do it better than everybody, just kick the ball around to each other in uncontested marks. Now, and Sam and I asked Sam the question: well, what can the opposition do about it to prevent that happening? I mean, you would have talked about that, you guys, in the pre-game. Obviously, they got the 160 odd uncontested marks. In terms of out there on the field, what can an opposition do to prevent them doing that so easily?
I think it's just being switched on, reaction time, making sure we're taking out the short ones. They're very good and showed today that they can, one up, one back, present at the kicker, take the short one, and then progress the ball. But we had a plan going into the game on how we were going to stop that. And unfortunately, we couldn't get that going. And they really tore us apart with that. And that was it's probably one of the things that we'll review the hardest. We've really got to get better at that, because we keep showing that that's the way to beat us. And I think that we've got a lot to go, but once we learn that, we can start actually getting some time in possession, forward half turnovers, stuff like that. So at the moment it's tough, but especially on the front line, I feel like I'm defending 3 or 4, but it's just the way that teams challenge you, and when we're kind of out of whack, it's just too easy for them.
I think you've given a a fairly blunt assessment, Nate, and taken sort of it's just not good enough going down by 10 or 11 goals. But, I mean, there is a yawning chasm between the experience and the levels of output that the two clubs have achieved. They've won the last 2 flags. You're having to work from the bottom up. So do you come away with a bit of glass half full because of good phases that you had in the game, even though they had more of them and they scored, very easily at times?
Not really. I mean, I'll speak on myself. I don't really want to take mediocrity, to be honest. It's really tough to lose by that much 2 weeks in a row. And to be honest, it's been a lot of my career at the moment. So I'm not gonna. If we're just gonna take little things and say it's say that's what we want just for maybe 20% of the game, then that's just not going to win, and that's not going to win games. So we've got to make sure that we're a consistent 10 out of 10 side, and that's what we're striving to do. But yeah, definitely won't be taking and saying we've had a mid game, because we haven't. We've lost by 80, so it's pretty tough.
Nate, thank you very much for that open and honest assessment of where you are. Genuinely appreciated by certainly all of us here, Lee Matthews and Sam Doherty up here as well. on to next week. It's basically the way you have to look at it. Thanks for joining us on 3RW Football.
That's it, mate. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Nate.
G'day, I'm Eddie Maguire, and he's Jimmy Bartell.
Join us on the...
If you don't love this kid, I've got to change the topic or else I'm going to have a cry on his behalf. So somebody join for a chat or else we're not coming back next week. Sorry, I've got to be ruthless with you. All right, Noel.
Hey, how you going? Here we are again. I worked it out. This is a sad thing. I worked it out. I haven't been on a winning fan cam since the last Brisbane game when we played them. That was my first ever fan cam was the Richmond game last year, and I haven't been in a winning fan cam because I wasn't here for the Melbourne game.
Oh.
So maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the fault here.
Look, or we just have to teach you how to use technology because.
Yeah, I'm not bad on the technology, but some of the stuff I just get frustrated very quickly. That's all. I guess it comes from being an Essendon supporter.
True. Although that should have taught you patience and resilience. But anyway.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to get my nieces and nephews to learn what we kids learned in the 70s and 80s. It's called resilience and hardening the F up, because that's what you have to be when you're an Essendon supporter. You know, I looked at Ben Mackay's stats for you people out there giving him a hard time. His best ever stats game, 20 possessions, was against Melbourne this year. He's never, ever, even at a time at North Melbourne, had more than 20. So he's never been a possession getter. However, he didn't play many wins for North Melbourne either. So he is playing the way he plays. That is his game. Okay, I think there was one stage where he should have taken a mark and he went for the spoil and ended up going and Brisbane getting a goal out of it. But yeah, I don't like. Look, I didn't even like him doing Draper either, to be honest. I don't think
Opposition is fair game in my view. If that's your thing, have it at opposition, but not to your own. This is like essentially Essendon is family and identity to everyone, to all of us. That is what sport is to people. And it achieves nothing.
That's the passion that we have.
Well, that's not. I don't call that passion. I call that. Yeah, I don't even have a name for it. I don't want to. Give it.
But I mean, but again, as mentioned earlier, that's media driven because the media push that out all the time. I got a friend of mine. She said the same thing. Oh, why is Ben Mackay playing? So you tell me who does come into the side. We've got nobody. But having a look at the man that we hate the most, Mr. Mitchell, Sam Mitchell, he played one season for West Coast, right? And they won the flag the next year. He played one season in 2017, and they won the flag the next year. Jordan Lewis went to Melbourne. They developed. Hodge went to Brisbane when they were crap and got them up. So yes, maybe someone like a Pendlebury or a Boston or a Taylor Walker or something isn't a bad option. To give it,
it seems to be. But those teams were successful already. They were just
West Coast was struggling for a while because they hadn't done a lot for a while, but they were thereabouts, and they weren't down the bottom. Yeah, sure, but they were. And they recruited Lewis. They recruited Mitchell for that reason. They needed that extra knowledge around the ground because it helps the coach too. If you've got a bloke out there showing things and getting things done. But look, we look at a few of the positive things that came out of the game. I think I said it before. They see the future in Roby. They see the future in Sharp. Throwing him in the middle was good. We see what Sharp can do in the centre. So maybe Sardis isn't your answer because he doesn't do certain things, but, that argument, we can go backwards and forwards on that one. But the future is the young blokes, and we've got to start trying to play them because the old guys, I mean, was Gresham upset because he got dropped? because he played a terrible game. He had a woeful game today.
Okay,
And maybe
I need to rewatch that. Maybe I got seduced by the beautiful rundown tackle. That I don't think it was actually called holding the ball in the end. And
No,
I
of
got
course not.
upset.
Of course not.
But yeah, maybe he did. I think I alluded to the fact that he was okay earlier, but I'll reserve that judgment until the rating show and once I've watched the replay. But yeah, maybe he was bad.
He had a let's say he had a quiet day. Dersma had a terrible day too.
Now that I can agree on. It was far from Durst's best game we've seen.
I think West Coast got the best brother. I saw him live a couple against St Kilda. He's clean with his disposal. He looks really good. Young Zane, the West Coast, the brother for West Coast, he looks really.
No, that's Willem. That's Willem.
Yeah,
Zane is Kangaroos, and Willem Dersma was always touted as the best of the three. So no surprises there.
He looks like it. Yeah, I think that the problem with Xavier is he tries a bit too hard and over exuberant. The hyphenator did okay. I think the boy with the hyphen,
Day Wicks,
the hyphenator. I call him the hyphenator. Couple of nice disposals, a couple of good setups. Well, look, Durham had his best game in a while.
He did,
particularly the first half. So as someone else said, I put a rocket up the Jaxie, and suddenly they want to play well.
Yeah.
So I think, and what I don't think we missed Parrish. I don't think he was missed. Would he get back in the side? Probably.
Because if Caldwell misses for the ankle, Parrish is definitely coming in for that.
But he got Centerfield had a good game in the VFL. So did Perkins. If you go by stats, Sardis had a lot of possessions, but a lot of them were handballs. Again, people looking at disposals. A lot of them, he only had 10 kicks. A lot of them were handballs.
He's not a kick. I don't need it. Well, I probably need him to kick well, but he's always going to have more handballs than he has kicks.
Yeah. That had been Perkins' problem. That had been Perkins' problem, but he had a lot more kicks as well. I was watching a fair bit of the VFL on the way home, so so I can use that technology.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. All right. Well, what else came out of the VFL? Who else looked okay? Did McMahon get on the scoreboard or did
he kicked 3 goals, 3. Brian did pretty well on the ruck.
Oh yeah, Brian. That's who we should be asking. Although we don't need Brian if my big ginger keeps performing like that. But how did he go?
Brian did well on the ruck. The other young fellow that we mentioned, Dowling, did some nice things in the ruck as well. He kicked the goal. Redmond did enough, for his first game back. He was, probably a bit tentative early. Well, Guelphy was really good. Guelphy had quite a lot of possessions.
Guelphy? Okay.
Yes, he had a very good game, Guelphy. But the VFL got the same problem. They played in the last quarter. They're in games up to 3 quarters, and then they seem to go to sleep in the last quarter.
Well, I think in fairness, we've been it's either injury crisis in the last quarter, we're down on bench rotations, and in the Bulldogs game, in that last quarter, we had 1 on the bench. I remember Sardis saying that they were just down for rotations, and we just got completely killed in the last quarter. So
and we lost El Haka. El Haka got injured.
He kicked 3 goals as well. Al Haka, which is of course we're referring to Al Achka, who that is his name. But he looked like he had a pretty good game. 3 goals, 11 disposals, but that's not necessarily what we need from him. 5 marks and a tackle. Yeah,
but he got a hip injury and went off.
Well, that's not good.
So it looked a bit nasty. Unwin was out of the game very early. So that was a bit. Ryan did a couple of nice things.
How did Zach Johnson go?
Johnson had tons of possessions as usual. Picked up a lot of footy. I think about 28 or something like that. But again, it was just saying.
He had 26, 16 kicks. But how did he look? Like, again, did he look okay? Like, did those kicks come off? Because I thought last week he had probably the worst game he's had. Oh, my gosh, of course. Daniel, thank you for reminding us. Of course, the most important question would be, how did Killian go?
Yeah, he looks all right. He looks all right. I didn't see a lot of him.
He tried to bounce the ball for the first time in a game. It didn't bounce back.
Yeah, he also had a bit of trouble with the handball idea too. But look, he looked all right. He's a long way. He's got a fair way to go. Of course, he's learning the game. But yeah, it was good to see him getting out there. It was good to see Redmond getting out there. So a little bit of some experience to come back for us, which is important. But it wasn't a star. But then he probably doesn't need to be.
It's good to see that Will Setterfield most tackles on the ground with 8 and Archie Perkins with 7. So that's
And Setterfield was great again around the ball. He's hard at it. He's getting the ball out with the handball.
5 clearances for setters as well. Elijah had 10. So man, how can you? Surely you can't see that number. I will rewatch it and just look to see his defensive accountability, but it's hard to disagree with those numbers.
In the seniors, we got. I think we won a lot of clearances, but we didn't win the ball out of the middle. But we were getting defensive clearances. I think at one stage we were leading. But did you know that Wright broke a record today? It was the most disposals he's had in a game ever.
Bless.
There you go.
That might make me sleep a bit better tonight.
Yeah, because I think he had 14 to half time or something, which is the most he'd ever had in the game. So, but they had at half time, Brisbane had 50 marks. 50 marks.
Yeah.
To us, 23 or something, which is 50 disposals. But you can see the difference. They are what we aspire to be. That's the team that we aspire to be. They work as a unit. There's very little individuals. Even their lesser lights pitch in, Rebel and blokes like that. Mm-hmm. They all pitch in. They all have their little role, and they play as a unit, almost as one whole group together. They know where each other is. The amount of times there's a bloke standing on his own, he just, I'll just pop it over to you. So, yeah.
Oh, God, it's painful. Yeah, you're right. It was a lot of...
But that's what you aspire to be. And if I was doing the coaching thing, I'd be saying, watch how they do it. This is what we're trying to achieve. I'm sure that's what they say to them. This is what we're trying to achieve. This is the role we're trying to achieve. Being able to understand each other. We've got the nucleus there. I reckon we've got the nucleus there. We've got a couple of little things we need to fix up, but we've got the nucleus of a pretty good side. You starting to see Roby and Sharp, and even Max Condianis was a little out of his depth at times, but he showed some signs. He showed a bit. So there's a nut there to grow with, but you're going to save money on Twixes this week, though, aren't you?
I am. Although maybe I'll just go ahead and just give them all to Peter Wright and Does.
I just wish Caddy knew how to kick straight. But then again,
and Caddy. Yeah. In fact, maybe Caddy gets an extra Twix or 2 after that interview, just because.
Yeah, what an interview! Yeah, well, Roberts was the same when he gets interviewed. You can see hearing their voice how pissed off and annoyed they are that we're working so hard and we're not getting the result we want. But look, it would help. There was 2 things that would help Caddy. One, don't lead to defensive pockets all the time, and don't kick it there. So he has to lead to that pocket. Because you put him on an impossible angle, he's going to miss them more often than not. Right? And don't kick him over the head. The disposal going into the forward line, the amount of times kick it over their head, or the amount of times it just floated over and Brisbane bloke was able to mark on, in the last, to me, that's where that's where they need to clean up. Going into that forward line and getting them.
Did we get any crumbing goals today? It didn't. I don't feel like we got. Oh, maybe Roby's his was off the ground, wasn't it? Or did he?
Yeah.
Did he get a mark?
And there was a snap around there was a couple of snaps. There was a hook off the front of the pack. But where we're falling down is that delivery. There was one or two passes that I hit him on the chest. Edwards got one that landed, perfect pass to him, but you often saw it. Brisbane went streaming down, and I look over there. There's three blokes standing there. Just kick it over to him, and away you go. Because they know each other so well. They read each other so well. When you've been a premiership team, you understand. Yeah. You understand where you need to move, and you understand the basics. But look, Brisbane, I like Brisbane supporters. I speak to a lot of ex-Fitzroy fans who are on the tram coming in and going home. We had to go laugh for a lot of them. But
they've got a lot to laugh about.
Yeah, but the problem is nobody hates us anymore. And that's our problem. We want to be hated. We want to be the Carltons and the Collingwoods and the Hawthorns, where people hate your guts. That they see you and be Essendon. But they don't. They feel sorry for us. We don't want that.
That's what Taz was saying that to me today. There's just a we're and they can't hurt us because we know we're shit. So they try and hurt us with you're so shit, and we're just like, and we know. So we can't be hurt, and they've got sympathy for us, and there's a bit of an ick about that, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, I remember during the whole drug saga, my next-door neighbour, when I used to live in the other block of flats, Hawthorn fan, he kept sliding newspapers under the door to remind me of the story. Another Essendon story, another Bomber supporter, another Essendon story.
Oh, that's the ultimate trolling. I would have set it on fire and left it at...
And when they were winning flags, they couldn't shut up. They could not shut up. I haven't heard them saying too much lately. The last couple of years they've been a bit quiet. But when they were winning premierships, bloody Hawks, mate, they catch it up to you. Yeah, but I've got a newspaper under my door now every day during the saga. So, yes, I've
read this. Very funny, but I feel it's mean because we were going through something very traumatic. But
and see the Bombers shoot up. You had to see the Bombers shoot up song, and there was a.
Would he graffiti it? Would he graffiti it, or would he just slide it under the door?
No, just slide it under the door. But yeah. But it was just, but in a way you want that. You want to be hated. You want to have that. I still get people yelling at me when I'm walking down the street with Essendon going, "Oh, drug shoots." I still get that. I said,
find some new material, like.
I say, you want me to watch you some new material, mate? But that's what you want. And I think, as I said, I try and look at it. I try and be as positive as we can because it's the only way you can survive it. Being an Essendon supporter, you've got to look at there's an element there. I didn't mind Ewan's game. I wish he'd kicked the goal. That would have been an absolute. Would have brought the house down if he kicked that goal. But he did his bit. But will he get in the game next week? Will they push him out for Parrish? He's more than likely to be the one they'll push out. I wouldn't give Gresham another game. And I think it was unfair that he was dropped in the first place.
Yeah.
Say he was dropped. Don't say they're managed. Say they're dropped. But they don't play.
Oh, you mean Parrish? I think Gresham was dropped.
Yeah, but he didn't play in the VFL, so he wasn't dropped. He was managed.
No, he was the emergency. That's why he didn't play in the VFL.
But then play him in the VFL because he's got no match practice. There's no game. He hasn't played a game. So then you're going into another game without a match under your belt. Although he should be fit enough to play now, obviously. But I think he's the type of player that needs continually to be playing, to be on the field. If he takes a game off. Same with Parrish, 2 or 3 games off, and then suddenly Parrish can't play anymore. So I don't know whether, And was Parrish dropped? I think he was dropped.
I think
But they didn't want to say that. They call it managed for another reason. What was he managed for? He played all right the week before?
Just his body, just because he's been so susceptible to injuries over the past.
Yeah, maybe.
They're just managing his body, which I think is smart management. Definitely, I think that's the way to go. But I also think I would have been happy for it to say omitted as well. If you're going to make a statement out of Elijah Sardis, then just do it for the other midfielder who doesn't have a defensive accountability as well.
Yeah, and your point about the stats on Ben Mackay, there are worse players who have done worse with their accountability and their ability. It's the glaring mistake that stands out. That's why people jump up and down. Oh, he handballed incorrectly, or as I said today, he went for the punch instead of going for the mark. And that's because his confidence isn't there. Have I got the confidence to take the mark, or I'm going to drop it? And that comes from the criticism you're copying. But I think you're right. Why has Mr. Rewalt not looked at the stats on other players and looked at the stats on the poor performance of other blokes? And if the midfield can't defend, then the defenders are under pressure anyway. Yeah,
that's true. But I mean, it's not taking away from the fact that footage exists and he needs to be better in those moments. It's just that there was other embarrassing footage. I don't know. Somebody left a comment and said that Mackay's are more embarrassing than Parrish's. Well, I consider jogging out of a contest whilst your direct opponent is off to the races at full speed. I consider that embarrassing footage, and there's multiple occasions that's happening, and I can find it, and I'm a nobody with no behind-the-scenes footage that at my disposal. So I just think it's just
that's media blinker. Got a media blinker. Oh, let's hate on Essendon. So we'll just have the media blinker and not see anything else. And we're just going to pick on this bloke today. We're just going to focus on that person. Look. I'm not saying he's a superstar. I think the pressure is on both him and McGrath because of who they are and what they represent. As in, one represents the fact that handball by McGrath, please. For God's sake, man, handball backwards. Well, and and I don't know if you noticed it, because I said you're sitting not far from me. You're lower than me. We're on the same wing, I think. Okay. Caldwell went backwards when we haven't gone backwards much at all this year. He went backwards to Reed and kicked it 5 meters away from him, unpressured. Yeah, but then Dersma told him off.
Did he? I didn't see that.
Dersma had a go at him, and then 2 seconds later, Dersma drops the easiest of marks and costs us another goal. So if you're going to stand by what you say, lead by example, son. Don't just. Oh, it's okay to criticise your teammate, but when the next opportunity comes, make sure you're not the one that screws it up. Because he told him off. He had a go at Caldwell for going backwards and stuffing it up, rightly so. Yeah. But then when it was his turn, he bombed out and failed out. And if I'd been Caldwell, I would have turned around and went to you too, buddy.
Well, hopefully they're holding both each other to account because I mean, I rate that he told him off. I do rate that. Yeah, because he's got to be better. That was ridiculous. At least Dersma's mark was contested. I think he was one-on-one. At least it was a one-on-one contest.
Yeah, but and to me that seems to be. It's okay we'll jump up and down. We've seen that a few times. It's a little bit of leadership when you can have a go at someone, and there was two senior players having a go at each other. But I would have liked to, are you going to take that from Roby? Are you going to take that from Sharp? If Sharp turned around and had a go at you for doing something like that? You'll probably take it from a senior player. But I'd like to see the young blokes turn around and say, you should have done this or you should have done that, to show a bit of leadership. Roberts has done it a few times.
Yeah, he has. And I think he should continue to, because that's the kind of leadership. And if you show the actual leaders up, then good. Expose them.
But I'd love to have Pendlebury down there for a year. Just have him. Taylor Walker, no. I'm not a big fan of Taylor Walker. He seems to. No. There's something about this, just about him personally. There's a few issues. I mean, the same with they talk about Zach Butters, but he's a great player, but I don't know. But Taylor Walker hasn't played in the Premiership.
Yes, he has. Wasn't he in that Premiership? Yeah, didn't they lose the Premiership?
Yeah, but they're not really. Okay, he's a fair, but it's just something about his attitude. For me, Pendlebury.
Yeah, I think he did actually.
Yeah. Pendlebury is, we'll give you a 1-year contract, play for a season, be
And I would say, like, we'll give you a season. You can play on field. You can be an on-field coach, and then we'll give you a spot on the coaching group for the next year. When you retire, you can proceed to join the coaching ranks.
Didn't they do that with Goldie? Isn't he Goldie the right coach at the moment?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he is. Yeah, so do a similar thing in terms of the ruck, in terms of Pendlebury, a transition period, have that 1 year, and the same could be done for a Taylor Walker. I mean, Taylor Walker's probably not coach pedigree, but whoever, if it's Nick Loston or if it's Jed Buse or, you know.
Yeah, you'd want to get someone out of Geelong, wouldn't you? Because, someone from Geelong, because they've been around a long time. They even if they don't win premierships, playing finals every year.
Geelong or Sydney. Yeah, Geelong or Sydney. Actually, is there anybody running around in the Sandful that is quite good and just can't get a game in the Swans at the moment?
Yeah, something. As you know, I love my crazy stats. I discovered a stat the other day, most unusual one. Guy who was drafted 5 times by 5 different AFL clubs and never played for any of them. He was a South Australian guy called Pat Bartish, and he got drafted by a number of clubs, including Essendon. He was the last one because Kevin Morris was our reserves coach. I think he played 16 games in our reserves and couldn't, and then went home again. But every time he got drafted, because the drafts used to be back a few years back, you could draft anyone and they didn't have to come to your club, but you could pick them up if you wanted to. So, and because that happened to Tim Watson, he got drafted by West Coast and never played for him. So yeah, so there was some anomaly in the draft, and apparently he's the only player that's, so they certainly fixed that up.
Oh, sorry.
Stats for people who can't see. Yeah, well, I was going to say before for a man in Bali, you should learn how to do sign language.
Yeah, but then I have to rely on everybody else. Then I have to rely on him understanding sign language. So if I learn sign language for the people who can't hear me, then I have to rely on them understanding sign language. And that I need to get that. Well, unfortunately, it wouldn't have worked for Scott, but I need to get a slide up for that instance when that happens.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I told you I didn't go today. I was thinking about going tonight for the St Kilda game because I want to go to Fiona's cafe.
Noel said a few weeks back that there is indeed a cafe at Marvel Stadium called Fiona's or Fiona?
Fiona's, yeah.
Fiona's, and I could not absorb that because why would anybody call their cafe that? No disrespect to any other Fiona's, but I just did not believe it. And then Noel sent me a picture of it, and it in fact does exist. So if anybody on this stream or watching this back has dined at Fiona's, let me know if it's
outside gate. It's outside gate 7 or 8, down that end of Marvel Stadium towards the AFL section. So it's down
from the picture. It didn't look overly. Got to be careful how I describe it here, but overly polished.
It wasn't overly patronized. That was early. I took that photo fairly early in the day before the game, I think. Because it was a Bulldogs match I think I was at. Or St Kilda. No, it was a St Kilda game I went to, yeah. And they were playing, so and they were playing West Coast, so it wouldn't have been a big crowd. But yeah, it looks like a pretty nice little restaurant. So there you go. I thought, secret Fiona restaurant that she hasn't told us about.
Yeah, well, TL thinks that's where I live. That's why I get back from game so fast. No, no. I mean, that would be convenient and save me a lot of stress. I'm not going to lie. However, no.
And they don't serve any Amish sandwiches either.
All right. I'm not sure I deserve that. Thank you, Moby, by the way, for that. You're right, Chris. It didn't look anything like Gimlet. and that's probably a little bit more my taste. Although, what do they say? Champagne taste, beer budget. Is that the saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fortunately, yeah. But anyway,
Fiona focaccia sounds pretty good though.
A Fiona's focaccia. Well,
Focaccia,
that's
yeah.
a lovely alliteration. I can make a lovely focaccia, but yeah.
Well, I'm making chicken. Butter chicken.
Ooh,
for tea tonight.
Lovely. I don't even know what I'm having. I'll be having probably, bit of this, bit of that. Nothing. There's no meals. I have no meals made, so it'll be like a toast with maybe I'll boil an egg and some avo, bit of everything in the fridge. What is everybody else having for dinner before we go? And Noel, enjoy this because this is the last ever fan cam. So everybody else enjoy.
Damn.
This is the last ever fan cams, everyone. You're having fajitas. Oh,
fajitas. Oh, I also spotted. I'm going to get a photo of it. I spotted some biscuits at the South Melbourne market. They're called Noel.
All right. Well, we're on the naming. Anybody else found anything that's your name?
Well, my name comes up on a lot of things because of Christmas, but I thought it was unusual to find a biscuit. It's like a savoury salada type biscuit called Noel, which I nearly bought. I should have. I took a photo of it, but I should buy it and have my Noel biscuits while I'm watching the replay or watching the game or whatever. Yeah, we're playing against more ex-Essendon players next week. In fact, I think the next 3 games we play against ex-Essendon players. We'll have Stringer next week.
Stringer, Laverty next week. We had Draper, McKenna this week.
And then we've got Patrick Voss when we play Freo.
How fun. How fun will that be? How fun. Oh, the chicken parma for Brett. Delicious. Moby stirring the
Patrick Voss didn't go well against us last time, though. So.
And he's not having the great year, to be honest. He's been very underwhelming.
But have they got a forward line though? Josh Tracy and
it's Josh Tracy. He just your eyes are just lured to him. He is some player, isn't he? Wow,
it's amazing, amazing forward line that they've got. Very, very damaging. I don't put much trust in the Swans. We've seen the Swans in this position before, dominating the home and away, and then they fall in a heap come finals time. So jury's out on them. But Freo,
I think the Swans this year mean business.
They are a better side, but the jury's still out. They failed in finals previously. What do you think of having maybe John Longmire come down to the footy club as assistant coach? I don't know if he would be an assistant. But again, someone from the Swans would be great because there's a club that plays consistently well and plays well in finals and knows how to win. So that's all we need. I think you would have thought Brad Scott coming from Brisbane would be capable of that, but I don't know. There's something not clicking with the players, or maybe the players just aren't smart enough to work out what they need to do, or we haven't quite worked out our game plan. I thought we had it down the last couple of weeks, but I think it's more the fact that they just can't do it. They can't kick properly. They can't handball properly. The game plan's probably there. They just can't execute it.
I want to see the game plan when the skills can actually we can execute the skills to do the game plan. Because the ball movement looks good. It actually looks good. And at times I've seen us slow teams down out of our forward 50 and actually lock it in. But our skills are not consistent, and I don't know why. And that's the puzzle piece.
There's passages, isn't there? There's passages where we run the ball from the back line down to the into the forward 50, and it looks smooth, it looks good. The players are running in formation. You've got running in 2s and 3s. That's when you see the really good sides. You're running in 2s and 3s. There was occasions where the ball would bounce, we'd be in perfect position, and somehow it would find a Brisbane player. The ball seemed to have a magnet on it and would find a Brisbane player, and he's in the clear and away you go. Look, Edwards did some nice things with his disposal, but he needs to get more of the footy. Because I think there's and maybe that's the reason why they threw him on the wing last week.
I have no defence of that call, but no, I don't think. Do we need him to be having a lot of the footy, especially as a forward? I mean, he did play that high half forward role, but he's trying to find how many. Like, I'm not necessarily looking at disposals, but yeah, he had the 9 disposals.
Yeah,
but sometimes he's also going to be. Sometimes he's also going to be, he's going to be the sacrificial lamb by taking his opponent out of Caddy's space and Archie May's space and Cox's space. So I don't know. I think maybe we can be expecting him to have more.
I think they should use him more, because we go to Caddy too many times and put the pressure on Caddy. As he said in the interview, he's competing with 2 blokes all the time. They're dropping one back on him all the time. So maybe they should be using Edwards a bit more, because no one's maining him up. There was that beautiful pass straight down his throat. That's what they need to be doing a lot more often. Let's look for someone else other than Caddy all the time. They did the same problem with Peter Wright. We kept bombing it down to Peter Wright, hoping he's going to beat 9 blokes who are all trying to go. That's true.
And as Caddy said in that interview, it killed me hearing him say, I'm often battling 2 or 3. Yeah. That's how Peter Wright has felt for the last 3 years. Like, that is what our forwards are copping every week, because we cannot move the ball efficiently up the ground. It's on the way there. We're having to get through 2 turnovers. And by that time, the defenders have read the play, or their midfielders have worked so hard to push up and be extras around in the forward 50. That is, whose fault is that? The 2 turnovers along the way. And it's predictable for the opposition. They know what's going to happen, so we'll just have a little bloke near the pack there, so if it comes off the hands of the pack, we know we can squeeze it out of the back line, and off we go again. But yeah. Sorry, 1 second, no. You've come back, Taz, you've come back from being harassed on Twitter to a dinner list, and I have no idea what's going on. Well, I'm sorry you're being harassed on Twitter. That is a toxic
stay away from there.
Place. Just hit the block button, Taz. But we're talking about dinner now, because towards the end of the fan cams,
we'll talk about biscuits, we'll talk about cakes, we'll talk about anything else.
But I'm getting really hungry now, so I actually want to talk about like savoury food, and that's why I asked you what you're all having for dinner. Yeah,
because to me, again, it's you stay off that social media. I don't understand why the players are on it either. The first rule I'd say is, if you can't handle criticism, don't be on social media. Stay off it, because there's idiots and bozos and dickheads on there who never played a game of football, who are who think they know everything. Just let them be on their fan cams, but stay off the Twitters, because I just find the whole thing, the social media, toxic. I want to come up with my own social media. It's called getting together with people in a cafe and chatting. It's never been done before. I think
there are groups. On social media who actually. So you can't actually cut out the middleman of social media, because I think there are groups on social media, on Facebook and stuff, that organise doing said catch-ups in cafes. So, but you got to do the social media. Andy's having steak, and now I'm very, very jealous, because I could use a steak. Andy, and olives. Steak and olives.
Steak and olives. Okay. Yeah.
Can get on board.
Steak's getting pretty expensive, but it must be a very, very wealthy Essendon supporter out there. I don't know. The last steak I had was a former Melbourne Cup winner, I think. It was a long time ago. You just still see the whip marks on the side of the meat. Oh God!
You need to cook your steak better than that.
Yeah, I'm doing old material now, so that's really bad.
Kids are having Maccas. I'm having a red. Oh,
Maccas
and some cheese. Just add some cheese and some bickies, and that'll go down well, Taz. All right, everyone.
I do weird stuff like go to Pizza Hut and buy the mac and cheese. They do a really good mac and cheese at Pizza Hut.
Okay, you heard it here first. Righto. Get yourselves there. I didn't know that Pizza Hut was still a thing. Is that still a thing? I don't know pizza, sorry.
There are a few around. There's one down. We've got 3 pizza places here, and 2 kebab places and a McDonald's. But that's as healthy as you can get where I am.
Is Domino's still a thing, or
we've got a Domino's and a Pizza Hut pretty much next to each other, and then we've got the local pizza place across the road. Yep. The proper ones made by the proper Italian people who know how to make a pizza, and then there's a really good another good pizza place just behind me, and they do what's the one where you roll it up? Calzone.
Oh yes. Yep.
They do a calzone. They do a really good calzone. So yeah. So we don't have much variety for takeaway around here. We've got a good Thai place, but yeah, we're lacking a decent takeaway, which is why I rather cook at home, because then I can cook my own stuff and do my own
thing. That's fair. Fair enough. All right, Noel. Well, it was nice to chat to you for the last time. It's a shame that's what we'll be talking.
No newbies out there willing to sacrifice themselves for the cause of the fan cam. Yeah,
that's right. I'm a woman of my word. So unfortunately, it's been lovely. A year and a week old. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, chat.
I was about to celebrate an anniversary when we play Richmond. It'll be 1 year as a fan cam person.
Oh, your anniversary.
Okay.
All right.
Get back on fan cam, people. Look after this lady.
All right. Thank you, Noel.
No worries, folks. Next week, who knows? You just never know. GWS might miss their plane. Who knows? we might
miss it. Are we playing over there? We might miss the plane.
We might miss the plane. Who knows? That'd be interesting. Apparently, you get 50 points if you forfeit. The opposition gets 50 points.
50 points for what?
If the team forfeits and doesn't show up, the other team gets 50 points. So it doesn't affect the percentage.
I see what you're saying. I'm like, no, they get the 4 points. What are you talking about?
They get 4 points, but they get their percentage. They get a 50-point victory.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's the rule. Because there was a couple of times last year I figured we should have just don't bother. We'll just stay home. Because the fans, that very small crowd, man, today. 29,515 or something.
I think 31. Someone said 31.
Yeah.
All right, Noel, let's get out of here because I'm about to eat this microphone. I'm that hungry.
What you gonna eat? Look forward to the rest of your fan cams.
Bye. We had a good run. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of today's Saturday. You got one more day to enjoy the weekend. Make good use of it. Thank you so much. Please hit the like on your way out, and I will see you during the week for the various shows. Monday night for the rating show with Pom. So that'll be the next time we see each other. Take care of yourselves, everybody. See you later.